If you're a business of 10 to 200 employees or more, Teltech invites you to put an end to your reliance on the big machine and contact Teltech for a free review today. 317-390-8585 and click on simple123.biz. That's simple123.biz. Teltech.
Bet on the game while you watch it. Live streaming of matches with loads of in-game betting options. Download BetRivers Sportsbook or go to betrivers.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis. Astros, Dodgers, Sunday Night Baseball. The action begins at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Procedures.
Go.
Inco.
Go.
FAO.
We are go.
Network.
Go.
Recovery.
Go.
Capcom.
We're go fly.
Here we go.
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
You're locked into the ride with JMV. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, place your bets, place your bets. Let's get some bold predictions going in here. I'll be completely honest. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and lockstep with everybody else. I will say it. I was incredibly happy that it was back last night. I was excited that it was back last night, and I was certainly tuning in, and I watched it front to back, but it wasn't the most exciting thing in their history of the universe. Anybody else with me? It was weird, too, and I know it's going to be weird, and I'm not breaking any new ground on telling you what you already know about not having fans in and having what percentage, 25% or 15% or 5% or 4% or no percent. Any of that, right? But it was weird last night. I got to give it up to those fans in Kansas City. When I went there for the AFC divisional round game a couple of years ago, it was the biggest mess ever. I mean, it was just the day in general. We had a snowstorm here. We barely got out of here. Weather Channel took video of me, Tucker Barnhart, and Drew Storen and some others pushing cars off the road from a slick interstate exit ramp so we could get the bus up the ramp and get to Arrowhead. Man, snowballs and ice balls being tossed at you, things like that. But I got to give it up to them last night. For that small a percentage of fans, I mean, you could hear them. And I'm sure that they had some other noise in there, like everybody in the world says the Colts used to do back in the day at the RCA Dome. Tom Brady, just named that dude from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Ed Bouchette, used to lobby regarding Bill Polian piping in music, piping in sound, not so much music, but sound. Listen, I wouldn't lie. Back in the day, I think everything was cranked up in there. I think the music was cranked up. But it was also a part of the place, too. It was just loud in there because everything was, rubber up top, turf on the bottom, and surrounded by cement. And the best thing ever is, man, that's why you got to go with PAI, because back in the day at the RCA Dome, if you walked in there rocking a rug, you were going to be found out, because walking in and walking out, you had to hold on to your hat. But I'm sure it was loud in there, right? Something was probably pumped up, but whatever. But last night, I got to give it up. I got to give it up to the fans there, because there weren't too many, but they were pretty loud. I think the most exciting thing, and this is what it was for me, I guess, the most exciting thing was the discussion of Andy Reid's face protective shield. Then that's just kind of how the game went. It was good for the Colts, though. Good for the Colts that the Texans lost. Good for the Colts that the Texans have. I don't know who made out their schedule. Somebody that hates Bill O'Brien's guts. Did you see the first 4 games of the season? Check that out. First 4 games on the Texans' schedule this year. What do they get? The Ravens next week? They go back-to-back. Last 2 years, MVPs. So DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is the one that made up that schedule. That's ridiculous at the beginning. Hopefully that thing really gets easy toward the end. But, yeah, the game, things Kyle and I discussed, I mean, it looked like the tackling, and a lot of this I think we were all certainly going to accept. The tackling was suspect. It looked like there were a bunch of missed ones. And the whole theory that Houston's going to be a hell of a lot better without DeAndre Hopkins. I don't get it. Anybody else get that? I saw our friend John McClain of the Houston Chronicle on Twitter last night, and basically he said, man, this thing was over before it was over. Hey, I know I'm not tweeting right now, and some of you are asking me why not, but what's there to tweet about unless it's negative? So Houston did not get off to a good start. Kansas City did get off to a good start. And now we're ready for a weekend of NFL, but it was a little bit weird. And the game wasn't all that exciting. And this is all going to take a little bit to get used to, I think. I thought the NFL or the NBA, I thought, handled that really well with the bubble. I mean, you can't even tell if these guys are playing in a gymnasium with just them. So for us, I think that sounds good. For us, it almost feels normal, right? But and not a lot feeling normal about last night. But I'm sure we all will get used to it at some point. And the Colts get the Jaguars coming up on Sunday. And I wait on this Friday for you. And I wait on this Friday for Kyle. And I will drop with you how the Colts are going to go 10-6. I'm always on top of this, right? Always on top of it. I don't think I had him starting 5-2 a year ago. I don't know if I had him going 7-9. I think I had him going 8-8. Whenever I pick him to go 8-8, this goes all the way back to my early stages here. If I ever picked him to go 8-8, and obviously during the Manning era, you weren't going to pick this team to go 8-8. I mean, that's when you picked him to go 14-2, 13-3, 12-4, whatever. But I think this year, a lot of people, I guess I would call this, is 10-6 cautiously optimistic? 9-7? 9-7 doesn't feel like it's cautiously optimistic. 10-6 kind of feels like the fallback, where you think they're going to be good, but man, there's a little bit of you wondering if the remnants of that 7-9 routine that we saw a year ago has the opportunity to hang around here. Anybody agree with me on that? I mean, normally everybody says, 8-8. I mean, why even make a prediction if it's 8-8? I think they're going to go 8-8. Seems like 10-6 has been that fallback. Seems like 9-7 wouldn't be good enough. I think the over-under Vegas odds is 9, maybe 9.5. So this absolutely has to be a 10-win team. I will say this. If they do play to the level in which we expect, I mean, I want to say difficult, but I mean, you have to work a little bit. I'll give you a great example. You know, one of the losses, and after watching Houston last night, Houston doesn't look like it's going to be worth a crap. But we haven't seen anybody else besides Kansas City just yet. But in watching that game last night, it got you thinking, and I know Colts fans, I know how you think. You're thinking, well, this should be a sweep of the Texans. I have the Colts losing in Houston this year. I have them sweeping Jacksonville. I have them splitting with both Houston and Tennessee. And how do they get to their 10-6? Like, one of my losses is in Las Vegas. And that one is about as tough to figure as anything right now. Like the Steeler one, on the other hand. The Steeler one's easy, and they always lose to the Steelers. I mean, you can have everything in the world go right. Like, everything in the stinking world was going right for the Colts, well, outside of Brissett being injured, but everything was seemingly going right. I mean, you had Hoyer was the backup, and he was in there, and those, I mean, lights of fire with Minkah Fitzpatrick and that 96-yard pick six return for a touchdown. They were just on the verge, really, of stomping the Steelers out there for the first time ever, or at least the first time in a long damn time, stomping them out. And that pick six revived that team, and then Vinatieri struggles, and it was just off. It seemed like that was one of the memories of awful that was a year ago, of a 7-9 team. But it's easy to go with the Steelers. They go, yeah, the Steelers are going to beat the Colts because seemingly the Steelers always beat the Colts. But I'm looking at my 6 losses. Do you guys think this is going to be a season where streaks are more prominent, both good and bad? I have this team on a 3-game losing streak, which is interesting. And it's just, again, it's always guesswork, don't get me wrong, but this is like the incredible guesswork here. Like that 3-game streak at Detroit, which obviously I don't trust. The Ravens here. Hey, I got good news, too. I got my credentials, so I am going to be able, Chris Hagan and I will be able to sit up in the press box with our good friend, the red-ass Eric DaCosta, who runs the Ravens. We'll sit right next to one another. That's outstanding. Well, I guess 6 feet away from one another. I have them streaking to 3 consecutive losses. At the Lions, home versus the Ravens, and at the Titans. And then I have them absolutely rising from the depths and beating Aaron Rodgers, who will still be quarterback on the 22nd of November. Beating Aaron Rodgers and the Packers here. You think if there's still 2,500 fans, how many Packer fans end up getting tickets for that game?
Packer fans is what? Packer fans and Cowboy fans are probably the best in the NFL, so I'd say 35%.
I don't really know. We haven't talked to anybody that really, truly knows how this is being handled. From what I gather, I guess all of you that have purchased tickets, you think you're going, but some of you don't know that you're going. Is that true? Can you guys respond to that? You purchased tickets, and you think you're going, but you have yet to be given the full, true, absolute heads up that you are going. You think so? Yeah, maybe that's how they're doing it. So the Titans on the road, the Packers, and I think that's going to be a comeback win. So I got them losing 3 consecutive. You know what? I played around with this Vikings game. It kind of feels like it's cool with everybody to pick the Vikings over the Colts, and I was right there. I was right there all the way to today, and the more and more you think about it, I could have bugged out. So I went ahead and went with the Colts over the Vikings. So, in fact, I don't have them losing a game until the Lions. I'm a little bit on the fence about the Browns. I don't know why, but not. Can you imagine if their first loss is to the Browns or the Lions? But 3-game losing streak. Lions, Ravens, Titans. I get a loss at Houston on the 6th. So, really, it is a year of streaks. I get a loss to the Raiders in Las Vegas that next week. And then the Steelers on the road, which is obvious. So I guess I got you feeling not so good as November rolls around, and I got you feeling not so good when it comes to getting near Christmas here. If you got a Houston road loss, a Vegas road loss, and then a Steeler road loss. What is that? 1, 2, 3. What was that? 3 out of 4 weeks? So, yes, a year of streaks. Anybody else with me on the year of streaks? And that's how I get to my 10-6. Cal Udemark is in studio, too. You got him at 10-6. The 10-6 is everybody's reasonable fallback. It's everybody's reasonable fallback if, well, you expect them to be good, and they damn straight better be good, but you think there might be some heavy-duty bumps in the way. You have them at 10-6, too?
I've got them at 10-6, too. I've got, I think, a few different ones than you. I've got them losing to the Packers there, and I have them losing to the Ravens and the Titans back-to-back weeks. But I've got them beating the Lions, as you said there. So I've got them starting out. Where's that? 1, 2, 3.
You don't have them losing until Baltimore. That's 7-0?
I have them starting 7-0 here.
Yeah. All to get to 10-6. Year of streaks is what we're going to be looking at here. Our friend Andy Slater is back at 5:35. He's going to join us, and we'll talk to him about a year in the NFL of streaks. Joe Wrights is going to be a part of the Colts Network, the Colts pregame show with me and others this season. The former offensive lineman's going to log on here at 5 o'clock today. Zach Kiefer of The Athletic has a really good story, and it's funny, until we talked about it earlier, it was right. I can't remember Justin Houston saying too much to local media since he's been here. He's going into year number 2 here. Zach Kiefer has a really good article regarding Justin Houston. I think Justin Houston set out practice today, too. I think, was it resting or something like that? I think there was a lot of resting going on from what you hear. But Zach has a really good story regarding Justin Houston. I think I'm still waiting on them to put him on the show. He was like one of the first ones I asked for. We're still waiting. Like, I got everybody else. I got Phillip Rivers, and I'm still waiting on Justin Houston. But Zach has an article, and it's really good. We'll talk to Zach about that and whether or not he believes this is going to be a season of streaks. Could it be? I mean, you're not jumping out the window if a team loses 3 consecutive games, as you normally would. Bob Lovell, bottom of the hour. Big night, big start for Eric Moore in Center Grove. And I will say this, as much as I said this about the NBA, as much as we've said this about the NFL, getting to this point in the midst of COVID-19, and obviously trying to dodge all the potholes that come with trying to put a season together, you have to give it up to high school football and the schools around here for doing the same thing. Because outside of week number 1, with those initial cancellations or postponements, I haven't heard a great deal. Maybe I should be listening better, but I haven't heard a great deal. Because we live in a world right now where everything is negative. Everything should be negative. It's going to be negative. Everybody's got to talk negative, and then people hide under the shadow of negative just because I'm speaking the truth. And, most of the time you hear it now, if somebody has to tell you they're speaking the truth, more times than not, if they have to tell you that because you already should know, they're probably just being a butthole. Seriously, that's what it comes down to. If they have to tell you. I mean, that's something that is a given, right? Or should be a given. I would hope that it would be a given. For example, I hope it's a given that you go, yeah, you know what? I think JMV's been telling me the truth for the better part of 16 years. Right? I don't have to question that. He doesn't have to reinforce that every day. So I think the truth here is the truth. And it gives folks a license to be a butthole. That's the truth. When the real truth is, well, you're just kind of a horse's ass, right? That's just how it works. In this era. And hopefully this is not a long-lasting era. But the start of the NFL season is here. Last night was a middling, average game, but obviously the fact it was back, they were able to play, and we got to watch some NFL. It was arousing. It was nice to have it back. It really was. And it's nice to see it moving forward without a great deal of discussion of shutdowns and COVID IRs or anything like that. It seems like we really have sidestepped a lot of those potholes that we thought were going to be here. See, I remember this. You go all the way back when this first started. Check that. Maybe go back to May, middle May. There are a lot of folks that didn't think this is going to happen. I mean, at the time, there were a lot of folks thinking that really nothing was going to happen on time. And then you kind of got into July, and you had the hot spots break out. The numbers explode here and there. Then you really thought nothing was going to happen. But honestly, putting all this stuff together in whatever form or fashion professional sports have, it seems like it's worked. In the NBA, it's definitely worked. They have a certain amount of speed bumps in MLB to deal with, no question about that. But it's ongoing, and the NFL has certainly worked. High school football seems like it's working. Job well done. Job well done. I want to get your predictions. Oh, no. Somebody gave me the 00 here. You guys want to look at this? If you guys are watching Inside the Lounge, YouTube Live, am I wearing this or do I got to give this away?
I think you're wearing it.
Am I really? Man, am I that fat? If I have to ask, I guess so. The double aught. The double aught in honor of what people think maybe I have some man knobs here or something like that. Oh, shout out to Zinc and Bud Light. You guys are the absolute best. I love you guys. Jim Jr., all our friends at Zinc, they brought in a ton of stuff. It's weird where we are because normally we're out on a Bud Light Blue Friday, and I say normally, right? Well, this is unusual. This is far from normal, but we are going to, beginning next week, to make this as normal as possible for you. And we're going to do some things for you. Thank Zinc, and you know what? Zinc is doing this locally. Zinc is doing this locally to support local establishments, to support us, Colts themselves. I got to give a tip of the cap to the folks down there. They are the absolute best. Thanks, Jim Jr. and the guys. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So as of next week, it's not going to be your normal Bud Light Blue Fridays, but we're going to have stuff to give away. We're going to give you reasons to join us beginning next week. And we are going to talk up many of our local establishments that have been under tremendous pressure and have been in survival mode since March. And as we always do, we're going to help them out a great deal. I cannot thank Zinc and Jim Jr., the gang down at Zinc, enough. They are doing this locally. Big time tip of the cap. Love those guys. Love them. Major shouts all day long. And then I'll tell you where we're going to be coming up next Friday, and we can get that sense of normalcy again, which is necessary. I love that. I love the JMV sucks on the back of this, though. That's outstanding.
That's a nice jersey.
That's a great jersey right there. Looking good. If you're watching on YouTube Live Inside the Lounge, you can check it out. Yeah, I know, man knobs. You guys like man knobs. I don't, though. That's hard right there. Ugh. Hey, also, too, 19 years in memory, and I bring this up September the 11th because it is necessary. We all know where we were, what we were doing. Kyle was much younger than me. I was 31 years old, working another station, working at the time with Mark Patrick. And all this went down on September the 11th, 2001, right before our eyes. And it is incredibly sad still to think about. That feeling will never go away. Thus, we will always remember, especially those that paid the ultimate price, made the ultimate sacrifice. And we sit in a place right now where we're far from together, most of us speaking, far from together. At that point in time in my lifetime, that was the closest, I think, or at least the closest I've ever noticed that we were together, that we were on the same page, lockstep with one another. That was the moments after that. Not the gas price gouging. Not some of the chaos that was going on. Well, this is what's going to happen. No, I'm talking about those that came together. Unlike I've ever seen this world, this nation come together before. That also is a vivid memory from that date, 19 years ago. And I always mention this. Like, we do sports, and I don't get into politics. I never have. You guys know that. You're not going to tune in here to hear me talk about Congress. nor do I give a rat's ass about wanting to talk about Congress. But when this comes around, and I remember that situation again very well back in 2001, and I was working with Mark Patrick at the time. Mark Patrick was so incredible on the show that he put on that day. You got 3 hours, and you're talking about what's going on, the nationwide, the global scope, and you're talking nothing but tragedy, and you are putting as succinctly. And really, it made me feel, I remember just kind of sitting there and running the show as Kyle's doing for me today, and I remember sitting there, and it gave me a sense of calm. I mean, that takes a lot for somebody to do, and I've often told you this. I could never do that. That was the greatest show, the greatest 3 hours that I've ever been a part of. And I wasn't even part of it, except I was hitting some buttons. I've never been a part of anything more incredible, the way that he spoke to you, to us, in that time of need. It was amazing. It really was. I mean, incredible sadness that all you got to do is just think for a moment and remember it like a day, like today, and it just comes right back. Just floods right back. But there are also some other things, too, the coming together, understanding, the thoughtfulness, all these things that we ask about right now that we don't get for the most part. Certainly not together. 19 years. And people always say, never forget, and there's no way in the world. And this is a day where we're reminded of that thoroughly. How old were you back then?
I was 6 years old. I barely remember it,
barely.
Unfortunately.
It is incredible. God, I'm that much older than you. You were 6 and I was 31. Good Lord. But we do remember this day 19 years ago. All right, 239-1070. Email address, JMV at 1070thefan.com. On Twitter, the JMV 1070 Inside the Lounge if you want to go there. Bob Lovell, bottom of the hour. A big night of high school football, the success that high school football has had since coming back in August. Zach Kiefer, the Athletic, tells us a little bit of what we don't know about Justin Houston in year number 2 here. Joe Wrights, former Colts offensive lineman and radio network analyst, is going to join us at 5. Our friend Andy Slater, I don't know if he's in Miami or Medellin, Colombia, but Andy Slater is going to join us coming up at 5:30. I got the race of the day for you and Colts Happy Hour with me coming up top of the hour, 6 o'clock. Busy weekend. All that and more I shall explain. Again, a shout-out to Zinc Distributing, Jim Jr. and my friends down at Anheuser-Busch here locally at Zinc for being just incredibly awesome. And I can't wait to get back out next Friday. Bob Lovell, other side, 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
It's a September to remember at BetMGM Sports, and new customers, will you have a chance to win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any pro football game this Sunday, and if a touchdown is scored, you win. Now, use bonus code WFNI100, and all you have to do is sign up, make your first wager to take advantage of this offer. Now, there's never been a better month like this in sports history, and there's never been a better time to sign up at BetMGM Sports. Now, don't miss this chance to get a piece of the action at BetMGM with parlay bonus payouts, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and a heck of a lot more. Download the BetMGM app today or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code WFNI100 to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on any pro football game, and when a touchdown is scored, you win. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older and physically located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
When you've got a strong will, you do it your own way. When you're not willing to compromise, second best never crosses your mind. So when you're looking for a dependable used work truck, you'll know you'll find exactly what you're looking for at Indy Trucks. Cargo vans, box trucks, utility, you name it. Indy Trucks has it at 96th and Keystone or the new location off I-65 at the Edinburgh exit or IndyTrucks.com. When you want it your way, you'll get it your way at Indy Trucks.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
At Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino, we've got something special going on. Get in on the hottest gaming action with the newest and hottest slots, live table games, sports wagering, world-renowned harness racing, and more. The winning never stops. We've paid out over $16 million in jackpots since reopening, and the action's getting hotter every day. Don't miss weekly drawings and promotions, and mark your calendars for Caesars Trotting Classic on Friday, September 25th, featuring nearly $1 million in purses. Enjoy championship racing and more. At Harrah's Hoosier Park, the fun never stops, and the excitement never ends. Visit harrahshoosierpark.com for more info and a list of our health and safety protocols. Plus, visit Winter Circle Race Sports Pub in downtown Indy for more sports and racing action. Must be 18 or older to wager on horse racing and 21 or older to gamble at sports books and casinos. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Denny Smith here. My friends at Sundown Gardens are gearing up for a fantastic fall. See all the hydrangeas, roses, ornamental grasses, and foundation plants like boxwood and yews. Mums and fall annuals are arriving daily. The gift shop is full of beautiful autumn-themed decor. There's even a fun Halloween section for indoor and outdoor decorating. Come see us September 19th at the Sundown Gardens Open House. The WIBC Saturday Home and Garden Show will be broadcasting live. Sundown Gardens at 186 and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Running a business, you've relied on the big machine to keep your internet and voice services worry-free. But one day, your voice and internet stop working, costing you customers by the minute. So you place a call to the big machine, and you hear, "Hold the line." After several transfers and hearing,
"Oh, I am sorry, but you have the wrong department. Hold, please."
You realize you're with the wrong company. You call Teltec.
This is Teltec owner Troy Brasso. At Teltec, we take great pride in providing professional, hands-on support. Established businesses like Whole Wall Heating and Air and Carson Agency continue to experience the benefits of Teltec's customer care.
If you're a business of 10 to 200 employees or more, Teltec invites you to put an end to your reliance on the big machine and contact Teltec for a free review today. 317-390-8585 and click on simple123.biz. That's simple123.biz. Teltec.
Hey, it's Stan Dockich here with my wife, the lovely Lee Ross. Lee, we've had several jobs done at our house by the Michaelis Corporation. You've dealt with them way more than I did. You know I forget everything. Remind me, what was the scheduled work they did and how'd it go?
They were great to work with. Michaelis rebuilt a roof over our sunroom and a structure over our two-story deck so we could sit outside on the lower level even when it's raining. The ladies at the office kept me informed every step of the way, and Michaelis did everything they said they would on schedule.
Here's what I know. It looks great, and you are happy. And when you are happy, I know it got done right, and oh, by the way, I'm happy.
Bill, Dave, James, Brandon, and the whole crew from Michaelis did a great job around the Dockich house.
Besides being great general contractors, Michaelis has experts in waterproofing, foundation repair, mold remediation, indoor air quality, emergency fire and flood restoration, and insurance restoration. Spelled Michaelis, pronounced Michaelis. Call 844-FIX-INDY or michaeliscorp.com.
Place your legal sports bets at BetRivers.com. Your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. Tons of bets available during games, from money lines, prop bets, and many more. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we offer fast and reliable withdrawals. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds, more action. Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Guys, erectile dysfunction got you down? The Indianapolis Men's Clinic's all-male staff specializes in treating ED and other sexual health-related issues. Call today for a consultation. 999-9000.
The Ride with JMV.
There's a kid in my class that got a boner at PE in high school. He was wearing sweatpants. It was really embarrassing, so this song goes out to him.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, shout out to Zinc. I'm going to do this for the first time right here. I have never had a non-alcoholic beer. Never. This is called Budweiser Zero. 0 sugar, no alcohol, and 50 calories. Never had it before. So if you're watching on YouTube Live right now inside the lounge, there it is. I've never had it before. And again, shout out to Zinc for bringing this up. And it tastes just like beer. Yeah, tastes just like beer. This is Budweiser Zero, non-alcoholic beer, and this is me having non-alcoholic beer for the first time. Never before. And there it is. First time for everything. Again, shout out to Zinc and Jim Jr. and everybody here locally for putting on once again Bud Light Blue Fridays, which begin coming up next week. I'll tell you all about that. Meantime, Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. He's a friend of the show. Once again, I find myself apologizing to start out our segment with Bob Lovell. I apologize for last week, and honestly, it's probably going to happen again this week and next because I have been hard targeted to go until midnight on B, and it was pretty tough to get away there, and I apologize. I do.
Well, John, we have enjoyed having you on our show, and
that'll be it. Thank you very much.
Your contributions have been significant. We're certainly going to miss them going forward, but we're so appreciative of you taking time to join us in the past.
Well, I do want to be back. I do, and I thought honestly last week, I thought I was going to be able to pull it off being on here next door and then with you at the same time. And then Chris Woldridge had to leave. And then I found out there's no way I was going to be able to pull that off. So my apologies.
Well, see, Chris gets tossed under the bus. He's used to it. He can handle it. He's good. We almost went ahead and went off the air at 11:30. I mean, once I got the notification that you weren't going to be there, I just thought, well, you know what? We'll tell our affiliates along the way that we just canceled the last half hour, but we managed to soldier through the best we could without.
Well, I appreciate you more than you know, and not this week, not next week, but in a couple of weeks, I'm back and I'm with you, and I will be better than ever. I promise, absolutely promise.
That's fine with me. That's good news. There's certainly. Thank goodness we have some good news.
Yeah, and I talk about this. Yeah, we're talking about the NFL, navigating through COVID and these circumstances, and things look good right now. They started the season last night. The NBA has performed well beneath the bubble in Orlando. You see MLB, they've had some potholes, but they're still going right now. And give it up to high school football because outside of that initial week when you had some issues that we talked about, what are we in week 4 right now? I can't remember
week number 4.
Too much. Yeah, I don't remember too much that's been talked about in the past 3 weeks.
I do a weekly interview with Paul Neidig, the commissioner of the IHSAA, and on this week's interview, he mentioned that over 90% of the games were played last week, which I think is an amazing stat. I think something like 95% of the games that were scheduled in the IHSAA were played last week. So somehow, some way, and I think a large part of it goes to those communities where these kids are. It's not just football. It's cross country. It's tennis. It's golf. They're all going off right now, seeming to do well. The numbers, the positivity numbers seem to be down in schools. I know our state is still battling, but I think from the IHSAA perspective and from a fan perspective, you have to be amazed at how they've been able to do this to this point. Now, again, you're coming on week number 4, but there have been supposedly not many cases related to this. I'm not aware of any, to be honest. So just cross your fingers and hope that people continue to do the things they're supposed to do, like wear a mask, practice social distancing, do all those kinds of things. And yeah, it's been a rousing success after 3 weeks in high school football.
That is nicely done. I thought that deserved proper recognition too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think it does, again, when you look at that number in terms of the games that were played. I mean, you think about it, to stay in a position where you can play, you have to be able to have no positive cases. So you might have to have quarantine. You might have to have a number of kids who are quarantined, which will affect whether or not you can field the team. And we went through a little bit of that early. So this past week, and I'm not aware of anything happening right now in terms of tonight's game. So, we look again at how well things seem to be going on that front.
Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk. He's coming at you tonight and tomorrow night with those stations with Network Indiana affiliation around this state. Is there a target date maybe to reevaluate the number of folks and the protocol that is utilized at high school football games at all, or is this a week-to-week thing still, Bob?
I think it's one of those things that's established by the governor in terms of his what the public is allowed to do in our state, and Department of Health. And it's a great question, John. I don't have a particular answer. It'll give me, if you don't mind, I'll use that question and ask the commissioner in our interview coming up this week. But I would think right now that under the circumstances they're in, the evaluation would be a positive one, but I'm not exactly sure what the process is.
It's Bob Lovell with us. I think we need to recognize this because this is something to say. And I know sometimes I have a lean, for those South Side type of teams. And my daughter's in the Center Grove school system, and Eric Moore has been incredible. I mean, a fantastic coach there forever. They get Ben Davis later on tonight on the road, and the way that they've played so far to start out this season, as dominant as they have looked, is it fair to suggest that this could be his best team ever?
I think it would be right up there without question. I think they kind of had an idea. If you think back last year, last year was a season where they were hit with injuries to key players. Carson Steele was out most of the year. And it was a young group that kept hanging in there, kept making plays, getting better. And they just felt like if they could stay healthy and start out this year, that they really had a special group. And I think that's been borne out with the fact that they're relatively hard to score against, pretty much impossible to score against. So, they've won multiple championships. So I think it's clearly in that class in terms of teams that they've had down there in the past years.
It's Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk, with us. They get Ben Davis later on tonight, and they've looked really good so far this year. And what other games you got a hard target for discussion coming up on this Friday night of high school football, week 4?
Cathedral at Chittard tonight, John.
That's
They're
a
probably
good call.
there already, to be honest.
I would imagine.
if you wanted to have a seat. Obviously, the Brownsburg-Avon game, big battle in Hendricks County. That's at Avon. Lawrence North at 3-0, hosting North Central. Think about this. Lawrence North ranked number 3, North Central ranked number 5 in 6A. Carmel Coast and Pike, Decatur Central at Martinsville. Rebuff is at Guerin Catholic. So around the county, I think another game that really people need to pay attention to, Heritage Christian hosting Eastern Hancock. Heritage Christian number 3 in 2A. Eastern Hancock number 11. So there's some really, really good games coming up tonight.
Hey, Bob, I know that there was some major disappointment with Ron Colley and how that game went with Chittard last week. And for them, it's not an easy bounce back on the road at Columbus North later on tonight.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I mean, North has kind of gotten off to an uncommon start, but they're a good, solid team. And you're right. I think the Ron Colley group got a good start, Listen, last week is last week. That's a good team. Chittard is a really, really good team, but it's an important game, no question, for Ron Colley. I don't think there's any question for that. And John, since I'm a Johnson County resident, as are you, Whiteland at Franklin, number 6 versus number 14. We got some ball being played down here in Johnson County.
There's no question about that. How about that?
It's pretty impressive, Franklin. You know what, though? There's some really good teams around. I think we're blessed. I think this year, in and around the central Indiana area, some really, really good teams. But, I think one of the best games in the state might just be a couple of them. Number 1, New Pal and Mount Vernon. How about those two teams? And then up in Lafayette, West Lafayette and Lafayette Central Catholic. West Lafayette, number 2 in 3A. Central Catholic, number 2 in single A. So really, look, everywhere you go, you got great football in our state.
Bob Level, Indiana Sports Talks on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Week 4 of the high school football season. I don't know how much you know about this team. They have had a great deal of success. I remember back in the day, in and around South Vermilion High School, it was all about a fall Italian fest that was going on there. Now, and then in the past couple of years, it's been more about football. Greg Barrett in South Vermilion, 3-0. They have a fantastic team, and they've surrendered in 3 games, only 6 points. How good is that team? I believe a 2A squad when it comes to 2A teams of the state of Indiana, Bob.
I would say this, that any team Greg Barrett coaches is good. And it's not coincidental that they became that good when he arrived. They really are good. Again, it was a team that had success last year. With a lot of young guys. They've gotten better. I think this is his 3rd year there, and they're legit. I mean, they are a team that in that part of the state is really, really good. You know, 2A is populated with some really, really good programs that we don't talk a lot about, but that's one of them. They're ranked, again, continue to be ranked in the top 10, and Coach Barrett is one of the best. His brother coaches at Terre Haute North, and so it's – football's in the family. They do the big all-star game there in the summer. You know about this game. They do quite a bit of. It's fun to have an all-star game of the Terre Haute area, and the Barretts run that. They also have they tie it to charities and give some scholarships to kids. And so, look, when you mention the Barrett family in that part of the state, it's synonymous with quality football and quality people.
Bob, in closing here, I know we talked a lot about Center Grove at the outset, too, and mentioning Brownsburg as well at 3-0. Might Brownsburg at least have a vote for being the best football team in high school in the state of Indiana right now?
Well, they're ranked number 2 for a reason, John. They're really good. I mean, they and again, I hate to make it sound like everybody's a great coach. John Hart really is. He's a surefire Hall of Fame coach in our state. He's won championships in Indiana and in Illinois. He is just one of these guys that knows how to coach it up. His son, Nick, is the coach at Gibson Southern, one of the best 3A teams in the state. But, yeah, they're legit. And Avon has kind of struggled a little bit, lost to some good teams. But, look, it's Brownsburg, Avon. It's at Avon. Those are games – this is going to be like a sectional championship game. They played in it last year. And so this is one of those where they're tremendously talented teams. I love the quarterback at Brownsburg, but, look, they're good. I think when you look at it, Center Grove, Brownsburg, Lawrence North, your top 3 in 3A for a reason. They're all pretty good. Right now, though, I think the Center Grove team is just a special group, but that does not detract from how good Brownsburg is.
It's Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talks, got you covered tonight and tomorrow night with all you need to know, including high school football, Notre Dame, the start of the Colts season, and so much more. Always want to listen to on a Friday and Saturday. Bob, I appreciate you, and the week after next, I'm back for you for the long haul.
It's a date, my brother. We'll take care of it for you.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
All right, you're welcome.
So, Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Kyle, did you see this from Daniel Kaplan in the last 30 minutes? The NFL season opener on NBC averaged 20.3 million viewers. That's down from 22.7 million viewers a year ago. Now, people are going to go, well, wait a minute, it's down. That's still a damn big number right there.
And that was going directly against the Lakers Rockets on TNT.
Damn big number right there. 22.7 a year ago, 20.3 this year. And the largest markets, Kansas City, obviously, with a 47.8. Houston with a 26. I mean, Houston was about even with the rest of the nation. That's a little bit weird, to be honest. You'd think that number would be larger. Denver, 18.8. Austin, Texas, 17.2. And looky here. Here in Indy on Channel 13 WTHR, metered a 16.8 in NFL opening viewership last night. if you're keeping track at home. Quick break and we'll come back. Zach Kiefer, top of the hour. We haven't heard too much. This is your number 2 for Justin Houston here. Not too much media-wise. Zach Kiefer has a really good story regarding the second-year defensive player for the Colts, and he's going to join us coming up top of the hour. Zach Kiefer, The Athletic. Joe Wright's 5 o'clock hour. Andy Slater's back. Race of the day and more. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
School's back, and you can win $100 in a Sprout account from Forum Credit Union's Sprout of the Month contest. Details at 1075thefan.com. Quick Shred now protects your identity not only by shredding, but by erasing and recycling electronics in their expanded full-service location at 62nd in Binford. 1 out of every 3 people will lose their identity this year. Protect your identity with Quick Shred. Recycle old computers, monitors, cell phones, printers, and flat-screen TVs. Quick Shred works hard to protect your identity. Visit QuickShredIndy.com. Quick Shred's open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and Saturdays 9 to 2. Quick Shred.
Hey, John here. Going against America. Let me restart this. How about this? John here, going against America's team Sunday night. FanDuel Sportsbook's giving you the opportunity to get an even bigger win when you bet on the Rams versus the Cowboys. Now, for every 5,000 fans who bet on the Rams to cover the spread, FanDuel Sportsbook will move the line 1 point in the Rams' favor. As long as enough fans keep betting, the line will keep on moving. Best of all, FanDuel will pay out at whatever the line lands at by kickoff, so you don't have to wait to get in on the action. So, if you already have FanDuel Sportsbook, just look for the Spread the Love market to place your bet. That's all you got to do there. Now, if you've been holding out, here's how you get started. FanDuel Sportsbook. Download it today. Use the promo code JMV. Again, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Download it. Use the promo code JMV. To get started. 21 plus, present in Indiana, must wager in designated crowdfunding market, max wager $50. Payout at -110. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. For a limited time, the Federal Reserve is taking actions to lower mortgage interest rates into the 2s. This is a temporary move designed to give homeowners the lowest monthly payment possible. At the Home Loan Expert, we are saving folks hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a refinance. Don't miss your chance. Take advantage of this program before it's too late. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi from Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. SUV month is this month only, and I'm extra excited because I drive a Ford Escape.
Rob, you do love that SUV.
What's not to love, Brian? It talks to me hands-free when I'm lonely, it parallel parks for me when I'm scared, and collision assist alerts me if I'm distracted.
SUV month means 20% off almost all Ford SUVs.
That's 20% off the EcoSport, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or Expedition. On my Ford SUV, I use my foot-activated liftgate when my hands are full of Spokesperson of the Year awards.
But you haven't won any awards, Rob.
Okay, Brian, whatever I'm holding. Kitty litter, birthday cake, a giant oil painting of me sitting in a high chair. The point is, Ford SUVs are 20% off.
You know, all those things fit in the bed of my F-150, too.
Fine, Brian. F-150s are now 20% off, too. Done. Are you happy?
Can you do that?
Yeah, Brian, I can. This month only, get 20% off Ford SUVs and F-150s and get $2,000 more for your trade. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Great idea for you. Love heating and air conditioning. Always good, John and Chris. The best, in fact, to make you comfortable in the summertime with coolness, warm and toasty in the wintertime. And how about breathable air? The state-of-the-art air purification system known as iWave is available. They partnered up, in fact, with Love Heating and Air Conditioning. And right now, if you mention my name to John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll get $125 off that state-of-the-art iWave air purification system. 317-353-2141. It's iWave, $125 off. Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Just mention my name. 317-353-2141 online, love-hvac.com today.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota subcompact and compact tractors. Our reliable #1 selling tractors are designed for easy operation and feature all the performance-matched attachments needed to tackle any job. Right now, get 0 down and 0% APR for 84 months and save up to $1,700, plus no payments for 90 days. Now through October 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit GoKubota.com for a dealer near you.
Hey, it's JMV. Connecticut is celebrating 50 years, September 10th through the 12th. A lot has changed this year, but Connecticut's mission of helping customers enjoy great tasting drinking water and clean, soft water will never change. This 50th anniversary celebration is all about special discounts and big savings on water treatment equipment, salt filters, supplies, and more. Check ConnecticutIndy.com for all the savings to make sure you get to either Connecticut locations during this amazing celebration. ConnecticutIndy.com now.
Every play could be the play that matters for you. Whether it's a touchdown, a first down, or the next reception, with live betting from Unibet. Live betting options for every moment of the game. Sign up today to get a limited time offer of a $600 risk-free bet and get $30 free to bet with. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The Colts open the season in Jacksonville. Coverage Sunday morning at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of damn nerds.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Thank you, Bob Lovell. Tonight, tomorrow night, Indiana Sports Talk. If you're on your way home from some of the few going to be allowed into these high school football games, or if you're just sitting at home in the backyard enjoying things and wanted to hear what goes down, Bob is the place. 9:30 later on tonight. Network Indiana affiliated stations. Bob on the Andy Moore Automotive Group highline a little bit earlier. Last night, Kansas City over Houston. Houston doesn't look that good. 10-6, my Colts call. Would you agree? I have them with a 3-game losing streak. Let's get some of your predictions in there. 239-1070. We'll do that with your predictions. Kyle's got them at 10-6. I think 10-6 now is the fallback. You believe they're going to be good, but you're not quite sure. Something still could interrupt your flow. That's what it sounds like, at least. JMV, we just found out today we're not going to the Vikings game after already purchasing the new season package. That's from Mike. How many of you received an email with that in mind? Because that's something else I was curious about. I'm assuming they're just selling them, and then you're going to find out if you've made the cut or not. So we'll see. That's Mike's situation. Thought he was going to that home opener. 2,500 other fans. Alas, he is not. All right, quick one. We'll come back with you. Joe Wright's 5 o'clock hour. Andy Slater with Slater's Picks in the 5 o'clock hour, too. Zach Kiefer has a really good story on Justin Houston, who is essential to this team's defense in 2020. Zach Kiefer about the Colts, Justin Houston, and so much more in that season opener in Jacksonville on Sunday. From The Athletic coming up next. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Place your legal sports bets at BetRivers.com. Your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. Tons of bets available during games, from money lines, prop bets, and many more. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we offer fast and reliable withdrawals. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds, more action. Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Running a business, you've relied on the big machine to keep your internet and voice services worry-free. But one day, your voice and internet stop working, costing you customers by the minute. So you place a call to the big machine, and you hear, "Hold the line." After several transfers and hearing,
"Oh, I am sorry, but you have the wrong department. Hold, please."
you realize you're with the wrong company. You call Teltec.
This is Teltec owner Troy Brasseau. At Teltec, we take great pride in providing professional, hands-on support. Established businesses like Whole Wall Heating and Air and Carson Agency continue to experience the benefits of Teltech's customer care.
If you're a business of 10 to 200 employees or more, Teltech invites you to put an end to your reliance on the big machine and contact Teltech for a free review today. 317-390-8585 and click on simple123.biz. That's simple123.biz. Teltech.
Hey, JMV, and while back to school this year is just a lot different for both students and teachers, Forum Credit Union is here to help by awarding $25,000 in educator grants. Very easy to sign up, and these grants can be used for classroom materials and items needed to support virtual learning. A lot of you are going back. Some of you on a hybrid schedule. Some of you aren't back. It depends, and this makes it difficult on our educators. And Forum's here to help. In fact, in the past, Forum has awarded over $150,000 to local classrooms since 2014. It's easy to sign up and to learn more. Log on right now, forumcu.com.
Extraordinary times call for extraordinary service, and that's exactly what you get from AAA, especially when your health and safety is concerned. AAA has been working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to make sure their members are covered. Because right now, 97% of all travel is being done by car, so a AAA membership is a no-brainer. I'm so glad to be a member because when I leave the house, I know AAA has my back. Flat tire, run out of gas, dead battery, lock my keys in my car. Doesn't matter. AAA is going to be there and be there in a hurry. That's some great peace of mind. And if you want to become a member, it's really, really simple to get that peace of mind. Just go to AAA.com. That's AAA.com or call 844-GO, AAA-GO. And don't forget to nominate a hero that they might win a free AAA membership. That's at AAA.com/heroes. AAA also has auto and home insurance. So why don't you get a quote? Give them a call, 844-GO, AAA-GO, or look them up at AAA.com because you don't have to be on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA.
Diamonds Direct's incredible 5-year zero-interest financing is happening now. Pick any item, spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. And this includes all our world-class designers like Simon G. From modern flair to classic elegance, every Simon G ring is made to reflect the unique brilliance of the woman who wears it. Come and see the entire Simon G collection this Friday and Saturday. And take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Trading in or selling your car, truck, or SUV? WeBuyAnyCar.com takes the hassle out of selling in just 3 easy steps. 1. Get your free online valuation. 2. Drive to your local car buying center. And 3. Walk out with your check in as little as 30 minutes. So don't wait. Get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Denny Smith here. My friends at Sundown Gardens are gearing up for a fantastic fall. See all the hydrangeas, roses, ornamental grasses, and foundation plants like boxwood and yews. Mums and fall annuals arriving daily. The gift shop is full of beautiful autumn-themed decor. There's even a fun Halloween section for indoor and outdoor decorating. Come see us September 19th at the Sundown Gardens Open House. The WIBC Saturday Home and Garden Show will be broadcasting live. Sundown Gardens at 186 and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Do you love live in-game action? Go to oddstrader.com, one of the best sites out there for live in-game odds and stats, oddstrader.com.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC HD2,
W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
This is Malcolm Brogdon, Thursday, September 17th. Listen as I team up with other Indy athletes and the fans to raise money for the Brogdon Family Foundation's education initiative. Check out BrogdonFamilyFoundation.org.
The Ride with JMV.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries.
It's quite pungent. It stings the nostrils.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Shout out to my daughter. This was playing in the truck this morning on the way to school, and I've never heard it before. So shout out to Laney. She's introducing me to new music here. It's called Breaking Me by somebody named Topic. I have no idea what it is, but thank you, Laney, for that. Appreciate it. JMV at 1070thefan.com. This is an email from Alan. Did you say Joe Wrights is in the booth with Matt Taylor? No, Rick Venturi is in the booth with Matt Taylor. Joe Wrights, during home games, will be in here with me, the Gorman, Bill, and Bill Brooks. So It's that's the crew during home games, and then it's me and the Gorman and Bill Brooks coming up this Sunday. That is how it's going. Wrights is just doing pregame show, home games, and Rick Venturi and Matt fire things up coming up on Sunday for the radio broadcast. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, I have this team at 10-6. I've got a 3-game losing streak. I hear kids in the background, so it must be a fantastic afternoon. From the Athletic, Zach Kiefer joins us. Did I guess that right? Kids in the background?
My children, they're making their radio debut. Here we go.
Well, that's good. They're probably a hell of a lot better than me, man. So have at it. The numbers are going to be on the rise. I want to get to your selections on the season for the Colts in just a minute, but it's funny. I didn't realize it until we talked about it prior to the start of the show. We have not, going into year number 2 for Justin Houston here, heard very much, if anything, until your recent article in The Athletic. He's just an overall media kind of keeping quiet dude, isn't he?
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Look, he's a really good guy. He just doesn't care if anyone knows that. And you know guys like this in sports, and I run across him as well. And this thing took me like 10 months to get him to really talk about this. And, if you haven't read the story, basically he was, 14 years old, and his family was living in this small house in Georgia, and it was the only house they'd ever been able to afford. And it caught fire, and he ran out, and then he realized 2 of his brothers were inside, and he ran in and saved them. And it's not something he talks about a lot. He doesn't talk about it with teammates. I guarantee you most of the guys on the team don't even know about it. But a really heroic thing from a guy that's been one of the best pass rushers of his generation. And like you said at the top, like nobody knows hardly anything about him.
Yeah, and you learn a little bit right there. For real, too, and especially considering, and I know, he's a veteran, he's an older dude, but with no Teray to start this season, I mean, this guy it became even more essential to this team getting off to a good start this year.
Yeah, and that's a good point because everyone kind of just pencils him in for 10 sacks, and that's not an easy thing to do. And I think maybe around here people got used to that, right, with Mathis and Freeney just being such highly productive rushers. But no, that's a good point. And Toure is a bigger loss than we've made it out to be.
No doubt.
They need both sides. And Muhammad's a good player, and you feel really good if he's maybe your top reserve. Houston's got to produce. He's got to produce, and I think he will. And look, it was in the story, and I asked him, how did you find out about DeForest Buckner coming to the Colts? And he says, we have the same agent, and he just texted me one day and said, you're getting a monster. So I think what Buckner accommodates up front, and I think the amount of space he's going to eat up is going to make Justin Houston's life even easier. And look, this guy, he has not slowed down. This is something Frank Reich's talked about. I mean, in terms of the body composition, and this is not something a lot of fans probably know about, but I find really interesting. Like, look, Rusty Jones has completely transformed the way the Colts train and the body composition of every single player. And this is a big deal. When Chris Ballard got here, there were players that were overweight, straight up. And they've changed that in a big way. And Justin Houston has bought in as much as any player on the roster. And his body composition is as good as anybody's on this 53-man roster. And he's a 32-year-old pass rusher. So you'd think it'd be one of the younger guys. It's not. So him buying into that system has changed him a lot. And he's really confident he can get back to double-digit sacks this year. They're going to need it, like you said, because Toure being out for 6 weeks is going to hurt.
So the Colts had fat players win? When did they make that transition from having fat players? When was that?
Well, do you want me to bring up the running back that nobody wants to talk about? He never hit his weight. I can do that, but I was trying to have a good Friday afternoon on the radio.
Well, I'm going to drag it to the depths because I also am curious about this within the context of your story there. Part of it was Houston deciding to come here, much like Devin Funchess did a year ago, because of the presence of Andrew Luck. Was there any being pissed off about the fact that you sign here, you come here, and then your quarterback quits here?
Look, we asked every single guy in the locker room last year, and they all gave the politically correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
And we all knew they were lying. You can't say that. And look, they do love Jacoby Brissett. They do, and they were behind him last year. Both teams can be true. But you cannot tell me that Eric Ebron and Justin Houston and Devin Funches and all those guys that signed in 18 and 19 came here to play with one guy. If you're a free agent, especially on offense, you look at the quarterback spot. You want to play with a team that's ascending. The Colts were very much ascending. I still think they are, but things have changed. But, look, I got to give Houston credit. He just came out and said it. He said, look, I came here because of luck. And you plan for the best, and you plan for the worst, and you hope for the best, and that was the worst. So the quarterback walking away 15 days before the season, he saw in the Colts what a lot of people saw, and a big part of this was what Chris Ballard did, and Houston saw it in Kansas City, and he also saw it here. And we talked to him just about an hour ago, and I asked him about the roster, and he said, look, the talent in this room is legit. He's like, this is a really talented group. Chris has brought it all together. But this is sort of a veteran comment. He followed it up with, like, look, it doesn't matter how much talent you've got. You've got to learn to play together. So I think that's what the Colts are going to have to figure out to do this season. But I'm amped on Sunday to watch this offense, to see what Frank Reich's going to do with it.
Did he have any animosity in how things ended for him in Kansas City?
He wouldn't go there, but it hurt. Now, they released him. And look,
yeah.
This guy had 22 and a half sacks 1 year. That's like one off the record. He, facing the franchise. And I think when you're with a team that goes from like 2-14 to a D Ford offsides penalty from the Super Bowl, and then they win it the next year, and all the trainers and coaches are texting you in the days before the Super Bowl saying, we wouldn't have gotten here without you. It's a little bit like Edgerrin James. I don't know if he has the same feeling in Kansas City that Edge has here, but what would it be like for a guy to be a huge part of everything you built, and then you leave, and then they win the whole thing? That would sting me.
Well, I think that's all the way around, too. Manning, I would expect Manning deep down inside still has some of those feelings, even though he had success once he left here in Denver. The way that it happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I can tell you for a fact Peyton is still upset the Colts let him go. He just doesn't forget that.
No. Don't expect him to, because that's why he was so good. There's no question about that. Zach Kiefer, one of the reasons why. Zach from The Athletic on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So I have this team this season 10-6, and I mentioned this at the outset of the show. 10-6 kind of feels like the default fallback of people believing that this team should be good. It sure as hell better be good, but there's an outside chance that maybe it's not as good as what you think. And certainly the mystery of all these teams and not really knowing anything to start plays a significant role. What do you have this team doing in 2020?
I hate going with the number because it's just so many curveballs we're going to run into the next couple months. But look at the schedule. You got to take care of business Sunday in Jacksonville. That's just a game you have to win. I think they win by double digits unless things go crazy wrong. It just sets up so good for them to get off to a fast start. And I think they have to do that. And then you look at November and you look at, Green Bay and Baltimore, and you look at two dips with Houston and then two with Tennessee in 3-week stretches in both November and December. And that's where you're going to find out where the Colts are. And that's where you're going to find out who wins the division. But I really do see this team winning 10 games. I just think there's not enough holes on the roster for it to really crumble like it did last year. They addressed a lot of the key issues. Like if you look at this team in detail, like there's a couple guys you just can't lose, and they lost them last year and they paid the price. They lost the quarterback before the season started. They lost T.Y. Hilton. They lost Kenny Moore, and that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. And that killed them. So they didn't have their top receiver and their top quarterback, and then they didn't have, maybe their most versatile player in the secondary. They went out and signed T.J. Carey. He's a backup to Kenny Moore. He should be better if Kenny goes down, but obviously you want Kenny on the field. And then with Buckner makes everybody on the defense better. We've talked about this a lot all offseason. He'll make everybody's job easier. So I think they address their needs, and obviously with Rivers, he's going to be better. It's going to be Frank being able to call the offense probably the way he wants to. So I don't see a lot of holes in the roster. I'm a little concerned about the secondary, but I don't have a lot of concerns about the way the coaching staff is going to get them ready to play a lot of these games. I don't think we're going to have those duds that we maybe had in years past where the Colts just don't show up and it just doesn't make any sense how bad they played. To answer your question, long answer short, yeah, I think I can see 10 wins, maybe 11.
Yeah, maybe the biggest concern for me, because this team has been injury-riddled basically forever, at least with our most recent memories. And, boy, if you're ever going to have a season where injuries will become significant, it's this one. That's the one thing. I mean, you're going to have to be so fortunate. You're going to have so much luck. And in that category, that area, I can't remember the last time the Colts did.
I mean, I remember thinking in the 2006 season, and we're going back, 14 years, Dallas Clark hurt himself late in that season, in late November, and there was talk for a day that he was going to be done. He came back and played a huge role in that Super Bowl run. So, yeah, I think I'm going back 14 years to find some injury luck with the Colts. I mean, you've had Manning's neck. You've had Bob Sanders, one of the great what-ifs in franchise history. If he would have stayed healthy for 5 more years. You had Andrew Luck, and I could go on for 15 minutes about the injuries he played through. You had T.Y. Hilton the last 2 years having to fight through legs and calves and ankles and everything on his body, and I'm missing some probably. But, yeah, the Colts have been really, really unlucky with injuries. And I don't want to jinx it. They're really healthy going into the opener without Trey Burton and without Kemoko Turay. That's really it. We'll see if they can maintain that. But you're starting to see Rusty Jones' impact on the sports science. I really think these guys are in better shape. I mean, look at a guy like Anthony Costanzo. I mean, this guy has been at his best the last 2 years, and he credits a lot to how he feels. So this is the stuff that, Chris Ballard took over 4 years ago. I think you're starting to see the moves he's implemented behind the scenes starting to pay off with the sports science and the sports nutrition. And so maybe they're starting to turn a corner in that regard.
That's awesome. I love that background noise. It's just fantastic right there. Love it.
Well, my older one is taking chalk from my younger one, so she's not happy. If your listeners can't tell,
it's all good. Zach Kiefer from The Athletic joins us. We've basically talked about everybody offensively ad nauseum, and the running backs. Jonathan Taylor, the rookie, Marlon Mack coming off a really nice year, and having that backfield duo, the rookie Michael Pittman Jr., T.Y. Hilton's return, Paris Campbell finally becoming what you think, Nyheim Hines being just that triple threat type of dude. You think about all that, and that's great, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be enough footballs to go around. So with that in mind, who might not find as much opportunity as somebody else trying to fit into this Frank Reich offense that we're going to see in 2020?
That's a good point, and we always catch ourselves in late August and early September starting to buy into everything we're seeing in training camp and starting to think that this offense is going to be really good. And then, as we get into the season, it's a lot harder when you're playing really good defenses. I think Nyheim Hines is going to have some games where he doesn't have the impact he wants. I could just see him not having many carries, and maybe they don't get him involved in the passing game, and it's just not one of his days. I could see him having really big days, but I could also see him just not getting as many balls as he wants. It's going to be interesting to see how much involvement we see from Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman. I think they're both terrific. I think I would lean towards Campbell because we've seen him do it, and I love his skill set, and that's what they drafted him for to be, like that slot receiver who you can just get short passes to, which Phillip Rivers loves to do, and he can make stuff happen. That's going to make it a lot easier on your 38-year-old quarterback. I don't know about Pittman the first month of the season. Now, he's definitely going to be involved, and I expect him to be the starter at some point opposite T.Y. Hilton on the outside. But I saw a lot of drops in training camp, and I think it's going to come a little fast for him. I think it's going to be a little bit of an acclimation process. That's typical. It happens with everybody. But I don't know if we're going to see the impact Michael Pittman has later in the season at the start. I think he's going to have to grow into that. And we can't forget about T.Y. They're going to feed T.Y. They're going to be consistent with that. He's going to be the focal point. So you got to keep him hungry. He looks fast. He feels good. He couldn't sleep this week. He was so excited to get to Sunday, and he's already talking in the third person saying a healthy 13 is a different 13. We know that around here to be true. Yeah. So I think you're going to see some deep balls to T.Y. Hilton, and then after that, Pittman and Campbell will just have to take what they get.
Yeah. Who's going to be the most important off-season acquisition. I know it's easy to say Rivers. It may even be easy to say DeForest Buckner, but you get past that, who kind of jumps off the page for you as just having that ultra level of importance for the Colts to produce and play well in 2020?
So I can't say Buckner. And
hell, you can if you want. I just kind of added that in on the fly.
No, yeah. Gun to my head, I would go Rivers just because of the position. We've talked about that a lot. But I'm just so anxious to see what Jonathan Taylor does. And look, I've been on the Marlon Mack bandwagon the last couple of years. I think he's really good. I think he's better than a lot of people think he is. If you don't think he's good, then you're not watching. And I still think he's going to be the featured back. But I think Taylor's going to put together some really nice games this year. I think he's going to really show what he can do. And it might not come until late September, October. But I'm telling you, this guy has a look and a feel to him that jumps out. Like the first day we saw him in pads, it was like, oh, I get it. Like when you go out to camp every day, every year, some guys just stand out to you. And my first thought was, this guy looks like Cato June. He looks like a little like a Cato June out there, like that fast, quick linebacker the Colts used to have when they, would run that 4-3 Tampa scheme. So, he bowled over a safety in practice one day. So they're going to see some of that. And I think the compliment to Marlon Mack is going to be fun to watch. And Taylor's a smart kid, and he's mature, and he's learning his way. And I think it's going to be really fun, and I think it's going to remind some Colts fans of the Dominic Rhodes, Joseph Adai days, where you just wear defenses down sometimes because you just keep coming in different ways with two different guys. And that's just going to make everything better for Phillip Rivers and Frank Reich.
Zach Kiefer of the Athletics on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He as well going with the 10-6 right there. I think anything beneath that, and obviously I've already put out there the expectations, and if expectations aren't met, there's going to be a lot of issues, and there's going to be an incredibly unhappy owner to boot. So there's a lot riding on this pandemic NFL season for the Colts for real.
Yeah, and I think you give them a pass for 19 because of what happened. I think that's totally reasonable. But look at this. I mean, they missed the playoffs 2 of 3 years with Chris Ballard. And Jim Irsay, that's not going to sit well with them. I could be wrong here, but if they miss the playoffs this year, that's 5 out of 6 years. For a team that was used to a birthright, playing in January and most times playing at home, that's not going to sit well. And with the expanded playoff field, remember 7 teams make it, not 6. That's a huge advantage. It's going to be tough to make it out of the AFC South, but it wouldn't stun me if 3 teams made the postseason. Houston did not look great last night, but, it's easy to look bad against Kansas City. My personal take is I think it's going to be Tennessee and Indy fighting for the division title in December. I think they have 2 games in 3 weeks late in the season. That'll decide it. It's imperative for the Colts to get off to a good start. But, yeah, I mean, Jim Irsay has made a pledge to season ticket holders that he's going to do everything he can to get this team back to where he thinks they ought to be. And that's irregardless of who retired last year unexpectedly. So, they didn't pay Phillip Rivers $25 million to go 9-7. So, they went out. They spent a lot of money. They gave DeForest Buckner $84 million. This is a team that they don't have a franchise quarterback in the long term in place, but they're doing everything they can to win in the meanwhile, while they look for that franchise quarterback. It's not impossible to do that. It's really hard to do that. It's not impossible. And I think those moves, especially those two, Buckner and Rivers, they reflect that. They're not ready to sit at home in January next year, that's for sure.
All right. Hey, next week, I got a credential. So we're all going to be together, I guess. 6 feet apart, but together next week.
Yeah, it's a quieter press box based on the scrimmages. But, to be honest, it's good to be back. I mean, it was good to get back with the media crew for camp, and it's just good to see people again. So it's good to watch football, too. I just can't wait to sit up in the press box 6 feet apart from Eric DaCosta and bring back some great memories of the day. That's exciting. Good times, coming up in early November. Thing. Yeah. Just don't say the wrong thing. Hagen.
I try not to, man. Yeah, Hagen saying the wrong thing, Conrad Brunner saying the wrong thing and getting everybody in trouble back in the day. That was a Bruno fault back in the day, but I've been waiting on that for a long time. A great story regarding Justin Houston. And enjoy the game coming up on Sunday. Enjoy the weekend with the family, and we'll catch up again with you here relatively soon.
Sounds good. You too, John. Thanks, man.
That's Zach Kiefer, The Athletic, on the Eddie Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right, now I've got plenty of time for you to slide in here. What do they say? I'm going to slide into your DMs. That sounds so weird. That almost sounds dirty. Is that supposed to be dirty? If I'm sliding into somebody's DMs, is that dirty?
It depends. You saying it?
Yeah. Just sounds
probably.
I mean, I would. It sounds just as dirty as if I said moist on the show.
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand. Usually, sliding into someone's DMs means one thing.
No, that's what it means? Well,
Yeah,
I see people all the time saying,
means.
why don't you slide into my DMs? So that does mean one thing?
Usually.
Oh. So if I say, why don't you slide into our phone lines at 239-1070, does that mean that?
I don't know how you can slide into a phone call, but we can go.
I don't know how you can slide into my DMs. How do you slide into that? Who made that up? Who makes this crap up? Who makes the rules?
Sliding in DMs is kind of, you're not expecting it. It's something you're not expecting, but I mean, if you're calling for phone calls, we're expecting to be slid into our phone lines now.
Slide into our phone lines at 239-1070. I think sliding, listen, you guys hate it when I say moist. You guys would rather me straight cuss than say moist or aroused. I mean, you guys all cringe when I say either word. And both are just fine. I mean, we used to back in the day. I mean, it was nothing but Duncan Hines commercials talking about how moist their cake was. Duncan Hines, moist. Ooh, the slide with JMV. I may have to change the damn name. The slide with JMV. Slide. Hey, you want to come over here and slide into my phone lines with your Colts picks? When I say I'm athletically aroused, I mean, everybody just gets sick when I say that. I get it from everybody. What? It's not bad. I'm excited about some sports. I'm athletically aroused. That's worse than sliding into my DMs. All right, we'll get back to you coming up next. How about that? Joe Wright's 5 o'clock hour. Andy Slater. Slater's picks. Let me see what Slater's picks is up to today. I don't know if he's in Miami or if he is in Medellin. But Andy is back. Andy, it's awesome because Andy actually said, I want to come back on. He loves you guys. And you guys are like rocking his picks. Ooh, I like this. We're going to go Colts and Jaguars and Titans and Broncos. SlatersPicks.com. Andy Slater is back. Coming up at 5:35 today. Race of the day prior to 6. I go Colts Happy Hour with you coming up at the 6 o'clock hour. And we're going to jump into the weekend. We're going to slide into the weekend. We're going to slide into a JMV takeover tomorrow night and then slide into me hosting the Colts pregame show coming up on Sunday at 10 a.m. It's going to be a lot of me this weekend. It is awesome. 6 hours of me on the JMV takeover Saturday night on B, and then 2 hours of Colts pregame with me, Bill Brooks, and the Gore Man coming up on Sunday. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Head to Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge, with brews served at 29 degrees and ice-cold mugs and high-def screens everywhere. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
At Unibet Sportsbook, we know that within every bettor, there's a bet so genius, no other person on this planet could have thought of it. It's called a parlay, a custom-made bet that says, today, my confidence level is on the money. Sign up today and get $30 free to use on your first parlay and enjoy daily parlay boosts at Unibet Sportsbook. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, Johnny, for Diamonds Direct, I talk about this all the time. Let's just say, for example, right now, well, we're in September, and you need that special gift. I've put it in baseball terms in the past because we're talking sports here, right? I put it in baseball terms as making sure you go yard. And in fact, if you're taking that relationship to the next level, you may need a grand slam. You got to go deep with the bases juice to make sure that you make this absolutely perfect. And that's what Diamonds Direct does. I mean, there's nobody better. I mean, all these other shops around here have nothing compared to what they have selection-wise at Diamonds Direct. The guarantees, absolutely incredible. Talk about your selection, the pricing, everything is incredible. And it makes your home run hitting opportunity absolute real. It does. Seriously, that birthdays, anniversaries, if you need a big-time gift, there's only one place to go, and that's Diamonds Direct. Tell them I sent you. Diamonds Direct, the best selection, best prices, best warranties, best guarantees you're going to find anywhere. That's Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing.
Did you know Geico's now offering an extra 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies? That's 15% on top of what Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? Your dentist to actually believe you?
And you're flossing every day.
Absolutely.
Great. And you're cutting down on your sweets?
Of course.
Wonderful. Then I don't even need to look in there.
Great. See you in 6 months.
There's never been a better time to switch to Geico. Save an extra 15% when you switch by October 7th. Limitations apply. Visit geico.com for details.
Geico knows there are many reasons why you ride. From the thrill of the revving engine and pure adrenaline of flying down the highway to the confidence of knowing that Geico always has your back with 24/7 access to claim service. But Ari Snyder has one reason in particular.
I had extremely large upper arms. They won't even fit into most shirts. Thankfully, biking really embraces vest culture, so I feel accepted.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Broadcaster Brent Musburger.
Want to know where to start for in-game handicapping? I'll tell you, oddstrader.com. Live in-game odds, real-time bet tracker, stats, matchup analysis, power rankings, injury reports, and much more. oddstrader.com is your personal sports betting command center. And best of all, it's free. Get the right live info and start winning at oddstrader.com.
Compare sportsbook bonuses right now at oddstrader.com.
John from PAI, WeGrowHairAndy.com. If you're losing your hair and you want a real regrowth here, a regeneration of your hair growth, it can happen with PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and my friend Darren Andrews at PAI. And that's the biggest key there. You want to make sure that it is real, and that's what they give you at PAI, your real growing hair again. Get that private consultation with Darren Andrews, 317-522-2995. Call them. Tell them I sent you today, 317-522-2995. I'm actually looking at myself right now inside the lounge on YouTube Live. I mean, that's a head of hair right there, everybody. PAI, it is up on a billboard, I think. It should just be my hair up there on the billboard. It does work. It does work. If you want the option of your real growing hair again, call that number, 317-522-2995 or WeGrowHairAndy.com today.
We see you over there, looking around to see if anyone's watching as you grab your phone to check your credit score. Don't worry, we're not creeping up on you like Mondays, but VergeCredit.com knows what's going on. You're on the verge of something great, on the verge of improving your payment history, on the verge of a lower interest rate. At VergeCredit.com, we know that's no easy feat. So goal-getter, why not choose a personal loan that works just as hard for you? A loan that reports payment history, so each on-time payment could help build your credit score. A loan that believes in personalizing the details to fit you and your situation. From the amount to the term and payment, it's time you take control of your credit score with a personalized personal loan from VergeCredit.com. Start your journey to achieving your credit goals today. At VergeCredit.com, you're on the verge of something great. Lending decisions subject to eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, terms, and conditions apply. Late payments, missed payments, or other defaults on your account may be reflected in your credit report. Loans are underwritten and originated in Salt Lake City, Utah by Stride Bank N.A. member FDIC and serviced by Verge Credit. credit.
Place your legal sports bets at BetRivers.com, your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. Tons of bets available during games, from money lines, prop bets, and many more. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we offer fast and reliable withdrawals. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds, more action. Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
The Ride with JMV. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Slide it in. DMs. That's a hit from down the hall on the JMV Takeover, courtesy of Whitesnake. Hey, JMV, you were really aroused by Diamonds Direct in that selection. There's no question. Del Phillips says, Duncan Hines cakes were always moist, just like the commercial says. What was that quote in Boys in the Hood? Baby got more cakes than Duncan Hines. That was Ricky. Where's Mike Wells today? We need Mike Wells today with a Ricky quote from Boys in the Hood. It's from Alan Stanley. JMV, the way you said slide into my DMs sounds like you should be doing a quiet storm on some erotic sports radio show. No doubt. All right, let's get some picks. 239-1070. 10-6 for me, 10-6 for Kyle. I give you a breakdown. The Colts will have a 3-game losing streak this season to go along in my 10-6 prediction, and indeed a must-win situation coming up on Sunday. The must-win guarantee, courtesy of me, JMV. Daryl's at 239-1070. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Good, brother. Don't beat me up too bad on this weekend on the Fantasy League, okay?
Oh, we're playing one another. What did you think about my selections? I was a little wild.
Yeah, pretty good there, brother. First pick. Anyway, I called in to give you my picks before I get on an airplane to go out west to Nevada. We are going to load up on Seattle, -2.5 over Atlanta.
You got it.
We're going to take Detroit -3 against Chicago. We're going to take Minnesota -3 against Green Bay. We're going to take Arizona and San Francisco over the total. And we're going to give you a little extra tonight for you guys that want to bet a little baseball. Take the White Sox, lay the 1.5. The kid that threw the no-hitter for the White Sox is pitching against the Tigers tonight, and that should be a blowout.
Yeah, all right. I want to go back to the NFL games. I had the Lions. I did lay the 3 and took the Lions at home against the Bears.
Correct. Yep.
I've already done that. What were the other games you had in the NFL?
Okay, we're going to take Minnesota laying the points against Green Bay.
Gotcha.
And we're going to take San Francisco and Arizona over the total.
Yeah, and then the total's 47, right?
I got it at 45.5.
All right, I think I got it. I got it earlier this week up at Harris Hoosier Park in Anderson at 47 is when I laid this down. And that, I guess that would speak volumes for me because I have Kyler Murray as my quarterback, right?
There you go. There you go.
So, yeah.
I got Tom Brady as mine. So.
And I've got like 1,000 wide receivers.
There you go. There you go.
Daryl, have fun in Vegas, man. Appreciate you.
All right, have a good time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, I had the Chiefs -9.5. I had the Dolphins. I have the Dolphins +6.5. At New England. That makes me sound like a non-believer in the future without Tom Brady right there. At least the start of the future. At the Ravens -8. The Bills -6.5. Did you notice that dude named Tyler Fox sent me something last night and said, hey, I hear you talking about this yet. I don't think you bet. I don't think you do this. I go over this every damn week. I'm not going to spend every segment talking about it, but I go over it every week, Tyler. You see that last night? Son of a gun. I go over it every week. We like to have a segment. I'm drinking during it. If I smoke cigarettes, I'd smoke cigarettes during it, but I don't. Raiders -3 at Carolina. I think he mentioned Seahawks -1.5 in Atlanta. Yeah, I went through the entire thing with Brent Holverson on Wednesday. So we're ready to rock. And by the way, I got to do our pick'em too. We got to remind folks, Kyle, of our pick'em, because somebody's going to win a bar restock courtesy of Heaven Hill Distillery, and our pick'em page is up. Can you send that back out? Fire that back out. I'll retweet it. I want to make sure that everybody's involved here, because I know everybody did not get involved in our fantasy football league because we just don't have enough spots. I want everybody involved in our pick'em because you still got something to play for, and it's still a challenge, and we can still all go head-to-head here. And then somebody's going to end up winning alcohol, which is awesome. JMV, erotic sports show equals coverage of glow and lingerie football. Yeah, lingerie football was a deal back in the day. It was. Kevin writes this, my pick is Andy Reid plus some windshield wipers for that bad boy look last night. That was. He needed some, like, defoggers. And listen, I thought that was more interesting than the game, to be quite honest with you. I'll retweet this. Here it is. I'll retweet it. Kyle just sent it. It is our Pick'em League. Pigskin Pick'em for a bar restock from Heaven Hill Distillery. Jake's at 239-1070 next. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, man, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong take to step to. Hey, man, it's been a while since I called on here, man, but I just want to say about that DM thing, man, that sliding to the DM, that's coming from a lot of them, these new rappers, man, that okay a lot of that crazy stuff, man. But I got dumped the last time I was on here, so I'm going to give you a play on words because I'm 50. I know you're 50, so you might get this. The only thing that the fellas need to be worried about sliding into is somewhere near South Virginia. So, so my Colts pick, man, 10-6, man, and they probably be wild card or something, man. I hope they win the South, man. But, hey, South Virginia, 10-6, JMV.
You got it. Thank you, Jake. Did we dump Jake the last time he was on? Yeah, so here you go. Slide into our pick'em. And we'll, at the end of the season, somebody's going to win a bar restock. Brent Holverson's involved in our pick'em as well. Yeah, I saw this. I mentioned the numbers last night where, I said the numbers are down compared to the NFL opener of a year ago. Now, Houston, the Houston numbers, it wasn't split, but you had Houston folks also watching the Rockets and the Lakers, too. There was a lot more going on than usual. We had that. The NHL was going on. U.S. Open was going on. And I know we're only talking about, with the U.S. Open, like 1.5 mil, and, with the hockey, but it still can chip away. I thought that number last night was huge for the NFL. Compared to where we are right now. I mean, hell, I've had like half a dozen people say that they're not going to watch. I'm not going to watch, and I am going to watch. I was excited to watch. I just didn't think the game was that exciting. And it looked incredibly weird with the crowd, but I got to give it up to that crowd because they were very loud. They mentioned toward the end of the game, I think it was Al Michaels mentioned that it kind of reminded him of, a late game blowout or something. I mean, there's still more people there in a late game blowout for the home team. It is really weird to see, but I am glad that it's back, and this weekend with the Colts in Jacksonville gets it started around here. I mentioned pregame show coverage, me, the Gorman, Bill Brooks, coming up on Sunday morning, beginning right here at 10 a.m. We'll get you to countdown to kickoff with Matt Taylor, Rick Venturi, and Lara Overton, a part of the Colts Radio Network. Again, that's coming up on Sunday. Tomorrow night, #JMV Takeover over on B105.7, 6 until midnight, all live, all requests. Saturday night party continues moving forward. You guys love it so much. I can't quit you. I can't quit you. So we're going to continue to move on that. And Fat Tire Beer, New Belgium Brewing. Going to restock your beer fridge at some point later on this month. Hashtag JMV Takeover with your videos and your pictures of how you're listening, what you're doing. That's coming up tomorrow night. Seriously, though, you guys are the reason why I'm still – people say, hey, what are you still doing this for? Sports are back. No, I'm doing it because it has been a smash hit, and because you guys love it, in turn, I love it. It's just a blast to do. Hey, believe me, I wouldn't want to roll in here on a Saturday night and do 6 hours by myself if I wasn't having any fun. I have a blast doing it. It's great. I got to give a shout-out to Sean Copeland, who allows me to do it. Can you imagine? Let me tell you this as I drink my Budweiser Zero 50-calorie non-alcoholic beer. The first time I've ever had a non-alcoholic beer right here. It's right here. First time ever. Thank you, Zinc Distributing. Bud Light Blue Fridays begin next Friday. We'll tell you when, where, and what we're going to be doing. But in radio anywhere, and I mean anywhere, it does not exist when the guy that runs the radio station says, hey, why don't you come in and play whatever you want for 6 hours? It just doesn't exist. You guys are fortunate to have Sean and Eric and that leadership and that station down the hall. So fortunate. It just doesn't happen. Hey, wait a minute. We got this jackass here next door, and he wants to play whatever he wants to for 6 hours. Yeah, okay. It just doesn't happen. Never. So that makes it pretty special. It does. I love being live on a Saturday night with you. That continues coming up tomorrow night. Quick break, and we'll come back. Again, you can slide into our Pigskin Pick'em, and somebody's going to end up winning that bar restock from Heaven Hill Distillery. I'll send that out right now. Joe Wright's top of the hour. Andy Slater, 5 o'clock hour. Your calls at 239-1070 next.
When the Colts are on the road, BetMGM and The Fan want to crash your bash. Visit 1075thefan.com and sign up on the contest page for your chance to have your bash crash.
Want to know what other guys are saying about RexMD.com?
This was my first time using telemedicine, and I have to say it was simple and discreet. I'd recommend this process to anyone.
The total experience was amazing, discreet, and fast.
Everything was exactly as it was explained. It couldn't be easier.
Here's how RexMD.com works. Just fill out a brief survey, and if appropriate, a private online doctor will prescribe generic options of Viagra or Cialis, starting at just $3 per tablet. Your consultation is free. There's no copays, no doctor office visits, and your shipping is always free.
I've attempted to use 2 other sites, and they made it exceptionally difficult and drawn out. Your system was quick and efficient.
Everything was perfect. My prescription showed up on time. The doctor was easy to talk to. I couldn't be happier with the product.
At RexMD.com, we've made the process fast, easy, and affordable. Visit RexMD.com right now. That's REXMD.com.
Hello there, it's John, and go against America's team this Sunday night. Seriously, I don't know why this America's team thing is really kind of twisting me up here, but you can go against it with FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is giving you the chance to get an even bigger win when you bet on the Rams versus the Cowboys. So for every 5,000 fans who bet on the Rams to cover the spread, FanDuel Sportsbook will move the line 1 point in the Rams' favor. As long as enough fans keep betting, the line will keep moving. And well, best of all, FanDuel will pay out at whatever the line lands at by kickoff, so you don't have to wait to get in on all the action. So if you're already signed up, here's what I want you to look for. Look for the market account of Spread the Love. If you're already signed up, and if you're not, use my promo code JMV. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use my promo code JMV. Do it now. 21 plus, present in Indiana, must wager in designated crowdfunding market. Max wager, $50. Payout at -110. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Extraordinary times call for extraordinary service, and that's exactly what you get from AAA, especially when your health and safety is concerned. AAA has been working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to make sure their members are covered. Because right now, 97% of all travel is being done by car, so a AAA membership is a no-brainer. I'm so glad to be a member because when I leave the house, I know AAA has my back. Flat tire, run out of gas, dead battery, lock my keys in my car. Doesn't matter. AAA is going to be there and be there in a hurry. That's some great peace of mind. And if you want to become a member, it's really, really simple to get that peace of mind. Just go to AAA.com. That's AAA.com or call 844-GO-AAA-GO. And don't forget to nominate a hero that they might win a free AAA membership. That's at AAA.com/heroes. AAA also has auto and home insurance, so why don't you get a quote? Give them a call, 844-GO-AAA-GO, or look them up at AAA.com, because you don't have to be on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA.
Hey, John from Connecticut Water, a great time yesterday. Hey, remember, too, you got the Big Daddy special working right now because you have until 2 o'clock tomorrow to take full advantage at either location, Northeast Side, Castleton, South Side, US 31, and Southport Road of Connecticut, to get the best water. That's the Premier Series water softener. That's a free K5 in-home drinking water station. And to help celebrate 50 years, they're going to give you $200 off the Premier that you're buying. Best deal ever. Ask for it at both their locations before 2 o'clock tomorrow during their 50th anniversary celebration. Say, hey, I heard JMV talking about the Big Daddy special, and I want the best water that is Connecticut, and they're going to give you that incredible deal. All a part of the 50th anniversary with our friends from Connecticut. Again, the two locations. Ask for the Big Daddy special, Northeast Side, Castleton, South Side, US 31, and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device today or online. ConnecticutND.com.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi from Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. SUV month is this month only, and I'm extra excited because I drive a Ford Escape.
Rob, you do love that SUV.
What's not to love, Brian? It talks to me hands-free when I'm lonely, it parallel parks for me when I'm scared, and collision assist alerts me if I'm distracted.
SUV month means 20% off almost all Ford SUVs.
That's 20% off the EcoSport, Escape, Edge, Explorer, or Expedition. On my Ford SUV, I use my foot-activated liftgate when my hands are full of Spokesperson of the Year awards.
But you haven't won any awards, Rob.
Okay, Brian, whatever I'm holding. Kitty litter, birthday cake, a giant oil painting of me sitting in a high chair. The point is, Ford SUVs are 20% off.
You know, all those things fit in the bed of my F-150, too.
Fine, Brian. F-150s are now 20% off, too. Done. Are you happy?
Can you do that?
Yeah, Brian, I can. This month only, get 20% off Ford SUVs and F-150s and get $2,000 more for your trade. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Ready for Sunday's full slate of football? I am. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is rolling out a can't-miss offer. All new users have the chance to turn $1 into $100 when they bet on any team. That's right. You can place a $1 bet on any team, and if that team wins, you cash a cool Benjamin. DraftKings is safe, reliable, and secure, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code WFNI when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer. Pick any team during Week 1. Bet $1 on them and win $100 if they win. That's $1 to win $100 when you use promo code WFNI during sign up for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You got to be 21 or older. Indiana only. Eligibility restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Hey, Monday, Colts have started, and we're going to talk about it. We'll have the best coverage possible. It's going to be me, of course, Big Joe, and Sean Salisbury joins. Join me Monday.
The Ride with JMV.
I got nowhere else to go.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so wrong.
I think the slide theme we got working here, huh? You guys want me to play Slip and Slide next? Is that what you're looking for? Kyle's over there. I'm John. Thanks for joining us. Inside the Lounge on YouTube Live. That's The Ride with JMV, where you got a video feed, you got audio, and you got, well, participation opportunities. Will Boatman says, JMV, do you read these? There's your answer, Will Boatman. Jason Pullen says, dream job is to run a board for a radio station. Kyle, want Jason Pullen to come in sometime and you can teach him? Like, I don't even still know. I I don't want to put it this way. I like half-ass it down the hall here. I do know what I'm doing, but I am prone to making mistakes. And tomorrow night I'm working 6 hours by myself, so it'll take me forever. Like when Chris and I are together, I mean, we got like a machine working. So I can probably, for every full 6 phone lines, I can get to all 6 with Chris. I'll probably get to 3 out of the 6, so you'll have to keep trying. Yeah, shout out to Trent. Trent Schaffer. Should I start Jonathan Taylor this weekend in fantasy? You have Jonathan Taylor. Are you starting him?
Yeah, I'm expecting with the Jaguars' bad run defense, I think the Colts are going to run all over him.
That's your expectation? I got to see I don't even know who I'm starting. I usually don't figure that out until like 5 minutes before cutoff time or deadline. So you believe that much in the opportunity that Taylor's going to have on Sunday as a first-timer?
I mean, I think just starting out week 1, they're probably not going to want to throw it 35, 40 times in week 1. So I think you'll see a lot of Mack and Taylor.
Kyler Murray, Christian McCaffrey, Cam Akers. I only have 3 running backs. The other one's Naheem Hines. Mike Evans, who I think is going to be healthy enough to play.
No, he's doubtful.
No, he practiced today.
He's doubtful.
Didn't Rappaport tell us today that he was playing? Look up Rappaport. Son of a gun. DK Metcalf. Marquise Brown and flex.
Bucks declared Mike Evans doubtful for Sunday versus New Orleans.
Son of a gun. It's a good thing I've got some backup wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Chris Samuel, Chase Claypool, Vance Jefferson. And I did pick up, who did I pick up today? James Robinson. I do have another running back because I think he's going to start for Jacksonville on Sunday. Right? Look up James Robinson to see if he's starting for Jacksonville. How savvy would I be if he started? I just picked him up today. I think he said he's starting, right? Because the other guy I drafted from Jacksonville's injured.
Yeah, he's going to start undrafted rookie from Illinois State.
An undrafted
he's going to be the
rookie.
Starting running back.
Hey, that's a savvy pick or a waste of my time? Connecticut Water question of the day. Savvy pick or waste of my time with James Robinson? You know, that's just me kind of sitting on the toilet, hanging around the waiver wire. Just how Chris Ballard, I'm assuming, does it. Sits on the toilet, hangs around the waiver wire. Is that what you do? Sit on the toilet, hang around the waiver wire?
Not for week 1. I'm pretty confident in my drafting abilities.
I'm always thinking. Anybody else sit on the toilet, hang around the waiver wire? James Robinson, everybody. Anthony's at 239-1070. Go ahead, Anthony.
My guy, JMV. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent, man. So I'm on your train with James Robinson. I picked him up yesterday, too.
Were you sitting on the toilet when you did it like me?
I was. Believe it or not, I was
telling
cracking up. Because I'm like, he's about to click into me, and I did the exact same thing.
That is my general manager's office right there. And I'm assuming Chris Ballard does the same damn thing. Yeah.
Were you at work on the toilet?
No. Too many different butts sit on these seats here, brother. Let me tell you.
I'm with you there. So I was totally against Phillip Rivers in the beginning, man. And the more and more, now we obviously have to just accept it and hope for the best. As a Colts fan, you don't want anything bad to happen to him. But with that being said, I'm thinking more and more about when Peyton left and he went to Denver, right? That first year, they were all offense, and they had a pretty good defense, but they didn't win anything. And then the last year, he was basically, throwing ducks, got benched, got put back in, whatever you want to call it, and that amazing defense won them the Super Bowl. Do you think with our running game and the revamped defense that they're going to actually expect Phillip Rivers to throw the ball 35 times?
No. I mean, they are still going to run it a ton. They just want what they feel is a reassurance that if they get in a situation where you have to have somebody use their arm, that you got somebody more than what they thought they had with Jacoby Brissett a year ago. That's what all that comes down to. I mean, it just, being able to throw it down the field, not worrying about it, having the confidence to do so, that it is it. I mean, they are still going to try to run the football a crap ton, but they're also going to want to, be reassured that the quarterback that they have in there is going to be able to do some things at that position and throw it down the field more than just occasionally. So,
yeah, I agree. And I kind of think, along with what you were saying earlier, do they really – I have Marlon Mack on my fantasy team circling back. Are they really going to give Taylor 15 carries a game?
Well, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. It seems like that we talked about Taylor and we talked about Mack. You talk about Pittman Jr., T.Y. Hilton coming back, Nyheim Hines. Anybody else you want to add in there? Paris Campbell, who you're expecting a lot out of in year number 2. And you wonder who's going to be the odd man out as far as legit opportunities, because I think somebody's going to have to be.
Right. There's only one football.
My brother?
You are the best, my friend. I hope all is well, man. Have a great weekend, and let's go Colts.
You got it, Anthony. Anthony's a good caller. I was just moving around the waiver wire while on the toilet, and I go, there's James Robinson. Yeah, he's going to start on Sunday. Let's see what happens here. Hey, look this up on Lifetime TV. I swear I saw this morning. Do they have a movie called Deranged Granny? Did I see that accurately? Is that this weekend? Deranged Granny. Is that true?
Yeah, it premieres tomorrow at 8 o'clock on Lifetime.
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, right in the middle of my hashtag JMV takeover. You can check out Wendy Malick starring as Deranged Granny. Lifetime TV. Quick one. Joe Wrights is going to be a part of the radio pregame show during home games for the Colts. The former Colts offensive lineman joins us next.
Place your legal sports bets at BetRivers.com, your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. Tons of bets available during games, from money lines, prop bets, and many more. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we offer fast and reliable withdrawals. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds, more action. Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Most of us have spent a lot of time at the house over the last several months. Maybe you've been thinking about doing some home improvements, a new kitchen or bathroom. How about a deck, pool, or finished basement? Well, the timing has never been better to do those projects. Let's drop your rate and get you the cash you need to make those improvements today. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
It's a September to remember at BetMGM Sports, and new customers, will you have a chance to win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any pro football game this Sunday, and if a touchdown is scored, you win. Now, use bonus code WFNI100, and all you have to do is sign up, make your first wager to take advantage of this offer. Now, there's never been a better month like this in sports history, and there's never been a better time to sign up at BetMGM Sports. Now, don't miss this chance to get a piece of the action at BetMGM with parlay bonus payouts, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and a heck of a lot more. Download the BetMGM app today or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code WFNI100 to win $100 in free bets. When you wager $1 on any pro football game and when a touchdown is scored, you win. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older and physically located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
When you've got a strong will, you do it your own way. When you're not willing to compromise, second best never crosses your mind. So when you're looking for a dependable used work truck, you'll know you'll find exactly what you're looking for at Indy Trucks. Cargo vans, box trucks, utility, you name it. Indy Trucks has it at 96th and Keystone or the new location off I-65 at the Edinburgh exit or IndyTrucks.com. When you want it your way, you'll get it your way at Indy Trucks.
Hey, it's JMV. The largest and best medical hair restoration clinic in the Midwest is now open. PAI's We Grow Hair Indy new office is on the first floor in the Pyramids Building number 2. This is a great time to get your hair and confidence back. Here's Darren Andrews to explain what you'll find in We Grow Hair Indy's new facility.
We look forward to seeing you at our larger and more spacious facility. We now offer more comfort and space to help you grow your hair back. From the Artist Robotic FUE and our trademark procedure multi-unit hair grafting to the new FDA-approved Synetics lasers and PRP, rest assured, we have the technology and experience to give you the best results.
Do what I did. Call 888-724-5129 for a free in-person or virtual evaluation right now. Call 888-724-5129 and see my results at WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Grow your hair back today.
Do you love live in-game action? Go to oddstrader.com, one of the best sites out there for live in-game odds and stats, oddstrader.com.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC HD2,
W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The NTT IndyCar Series is back in action at Mid-Ohio. Tomorrow at 4:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I'm the bullish prince.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Bob Lovell, Zach Kiefer, podcast at 1075thefan.com. The return of Andy Slater, bottom of the hour. Well, guess where he's going to be calling from? Miami Beach or Medellin, Colombia? What do you got over there, Medellin?
I'm going to say Medellin, Colombia.
Is Medellin on Central Time?
No, I have
in
no
Colombia?
idea.
We got to look that up. Andy Slater coming up at 5:35. Race of the day after that. Back to your calls in a minute. Colts predictions for 2020 coming up too. Colts and Jaguars coming up on Sunday. I'll be a part of the pregame show beginning at 10 a.m. The Gorman and Bill Brooks will be in this weekend. Next weekend is the home opener, and you'll add our next guest on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline to the mix. Former Colts offensive lineman, friend of the show, Joe Wright, who joins us now, will also be a part of that. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing great, John. How about you? I heard Zach Kiefer's name. That's 2 HSC Royals you got on today, which is strong. And shout out to them and Fishers tonight in the crosstown rivalry Mudstock game. But it's great to be able to tune in late night and watch these high school football highlights. It's with no college football, been getting me juiced up for the NFL season.
Is HSC, are they going back to school, or are they on a hybrid schedule right now?
They're transitioning back to kind of the hybrid schedule right now. So.
Okay, so they started just e-learning from home, right?
I believe so. Yeah, we're a little bit west now, over in the Westfield area. So I can't speak to the school as much.
What did everybody think about that at HSE? I mean, you're moving over to West. You're transitioning to Westfield. Whoa.
Yeah, we're Our Lady Mount Carmel, where my kids go to school, and thankfully they've been in person every day. That's been good for them and good for mom, and especially.
Yeah, I love Westfield. Don't get me wrong; that's a great growing area up there, no question.
We got a Portillo's coming in near Grand Park too, so that's good eating when you're on the way to some soccer or hoops games up there.
You better hit up my friends at Joe's Grill down there at 161st and Spring Mill.
Spring Mill, yeah.
Yeah, go hit that up and get the New Orleans pizza pie. Thank me later for it.
All right, sounds good. I will.
Hey, I want to ask you this. Jadeveon Clowney was picked up just right before the start of the season by the Tennessee Titans. There were lots of rumors out there. Certainly Tennessee had been in the mix for a while. At least the rumors said so. New Orleans wanted to reel in Jadeveon Clowney because, I mean, look at their cap situation going into next year, and they kind of feel that maybe this is going to be their last hurrah, and certainly looking at, the age of their quarterback, Drew Brees. But I'm curious, Tennessee bringing him in, do you think that is at least a compliment to what they feel that Colts offensive line to be, bringing in somebody to start the season of that magnitude, knowing that you're going to get the Colts twice within the division on the schedule this year?
For sure. I think, Tennessee views Indy as the biggest threat in the division. I would that would be my guess. And I think, Jadeveon, obviously playing for Vrabel down in Houston, having that familiarity, and then probably part of him wants to play the Texans twice a year and be able to stick to them a little bit. But, I think the AFC South, is the best division in the AFC. Tennessee is the, division champs, and they were in the AFC Championship game, so that's who you're chasing. But having said that, I'm very bullish on the Colts. I've been going back and forth today what I think the prediction for the schedule is going to be, and trying not to be a homer, but it's hard not to love what the Colts did this offseason. I think when you upgrade at quarterback, the most important position on offense, and on defense, I would argue in the 4-3 that we run, that 3 technique, having just a Pro Bowl stud in there in Buckner, that elevates your entire defense when you got somebody that can wreak havoc from the interior. And so just with those 2 guys alone, let alone we did in the draft, I'm fired up, John, about the Colts. I really am.
Well, as somebody who has played against, the likes of somebody of that magnitude in the past, like you have in the NFL, what do you take away from certainly watching DeForest Buckner's game mature while in San Francisco, and that expected transition and what he's going to bring production-wise to this Colts defense in 2020?
Well, I think first off, everything you hear, he's a high-character guy. He's a leader. But when you have somebody like that we used to call them game wreckers on the inside, right? When you're playing an Aaron Donald or a J.J. Watt in the interior, oftentimes you got to commit 2 guys on the interior of the pocket, which now leaves your edge rushers, Autry and Houston. Those guys are one-on-one on the outside, which is great if you're on defense, not if you're an offensive tackle. And then the other thing is they can just cause so much disruption, not only in the run game but the pass game. There's true guys. There's some guys like a Vince Wilfork who are huge and you can't run against at all, but he can't, rush the passer. But when you got a guy that can do both on the interior, think about our strength up the middle of the defense. Him, then you're talking about our 3 linebackers, which are, as good collectively as a unit, I think, in the NFL, led obviously by Leonard. And then when you go back there, Khari Willis, I don't think a lot of people talked about Khari Willis last year. To me, he's an emerging star. You watch some of those plays when he came up, and he's filling and hitting somebody at the line of scrimmage or behind. It's got a little bit of Bob Sanders, the way he can come downhill fast in a hurry and really stuff the run.
So Joe writes, he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, a part of the pregame show coverage on Colts home games, schedule-wise, and then, of course, the former Colts offensive lineman is with us. You look at this Colts offensive line, and everything is positive. We talked to Ryan Kelly a little bit earlier this week about, how normally, offensive linemen, you only really hear about them as when something is going wrong. But for this group, it's nothing but accolades and a great deal of positivity, which he also believes you have to shut down, much like the criticism you have to do to play at a high level. I'm kind of curious. People have come to me and asked, is this line going to prove out to be more of a run-blocking line, or are we going to find out with Phillip Rivers being here how good of pass protection they can provide? What do you think about this offensive line in either one of those categories?
I think both is their strength, and I think what really is the strength of the line is how much they play together in the continuity. For nobody to miss a snap last year is awful impressive, and if they can get close to that continuity again, that's huge. And then you're bringing in a guy, Phillip Rivers, who's, played 16 years and, has seen everything. He is so good. We used to actually watch a lot of San Diego tape because one of our former line coaches, Hal Hunter, was with Rivers in San Diego and run a lot of the same protections. And just watching him be able to change the mic and know what blitz is coming before it happens and that's such a huge blessing when you're an O-lineman, and it's almost like, the quarterback backs, there when reminds me of playing with Peyton and Andrew, and they kind of know what's coming beforehand, and they're telling you to go block somebody else, and you're thinking, what in the world? This guy's not coming. And sure enough, he blitzes. So just having that connection between the O-line, and sounds like everything, Kelly and Rivers have really got off to a good start and have a ton of familiarity with each other. I think that's huge. And I think you're going to see some games when the Colts run 40 times, and we get a heavy dose of Mack and Taylor and Hines. And I think there's going to be other games when you might throw it 40 times. But I think that balance on offense and not being so run-heavy or pass-heavy, I'd argue last year we were a little more run-heavy in the past. I played on some teams that are pass-heavy. But having that true balance, I think, is going to be a nice feather in our cap when you're watching the Colts offense, because they can beat you a lot of different ways.
Former Colts offensive lineman Joe Wright joins us. I kind of put it this way, that last year it appeared that maybe some pages were taken out of the offensive playbook. Hence, you got a lot more of that running. With Phillip Rivers, are we going to see those pages added, and then maybe even more so offensively added to this Frank Reich offensive playbook, along with Nick Sirianni coming up this year? Is that what you see with the addition of the 38-year-old quarterback above all else?
For sure, because you have the playbook from last year, right? But you bring Rivers over, who has familiarity with those guys, and every play that he's ever run, and formation and scheme and route combination, he's going to tell those coaches what he likes, and I'm sure it's a open and honest dialogue. And I think there's so much the Colts can do, and I think the Colts have a lot of weapons at receiver, really maybe for the first time in a couple of years. When you're talking about T.Y. and, drafting Pittman and, Paris Campbell, who unfortunately had some injuries last year, but sounds like he's really done well in camp. And you throw in Hines, who's kind of that wild card player out of the backfield. And don't forget about very reliable guys, and I said it in a positive way, like Jack Doyle and Pascal. There's a lot of people to defend in the pass game, and if you're going to do that and you're going to have a light box, by what I mean by that, you walk a linebacker out over a receiver, and now all of a sudden there's 6 guys in the box instead of 7. Well, let's just go downhill with Taylor and Mack, and let's just, pound the rock a little bit. So I'm fired up. I think opening up at Jacksonville, who, clearly they're in a bit of a rebuilding mode, opening up and being able to chance to get a road division win week 1. That's a great start. You can't start any better than that for the season, and hopefully that what unfolds on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Hey, Joe, you played with him in the past. What makes T.Y. Hilton, just besides the level of talent in general, so essential in the past since he's been here with this team's winning? Because when he's not been here, it just hasn't nearly been the same.
I think he commands extra attention. He commands at least, if not a double team, a safety over the top or bracketing coverage or shifting the defense that way. And I heard T.Y. say this week that, he's the healthiest he's been since 2016, and a healthy T.Y. is a good T.Y. And I love T.Y. and I love his swag. And when you get anybody talking in the third person, they're feeling good, and that's a good thing. So I remember Matt Hasselbeck told me once when he first got here, he said, T.Y., he might not always run the route exactly how it's supposed to be on paper, but I'll tell you this, T.Y. is always open. And he just said he has that unique niche. And so if teams are going to be playing zone coverage, I'm sure that him and, Phillip have a quick rapport, but just he's always open, and he always finds those soft spots in the zone. So sounds like he's ready to roll, and he's you can just tell in the way he is talking to the media and just his confidence that he's feeling really good physically. And that's definitely a bonus for this offense.
So Joe Wright's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So last night it was back. The NFL was back. And it was fun to watch. The one thing that maybe stuck out to us as we were talking about it before the show was maybe the tackling wasn't what you'd expect it to be. And maybe that's the way that it is at the start of every season. But if there is a segment of a game or of the game we're going to watch for the Jaguars and Colts coming up on Sunday that both teams, or essentially in this case the Colts, may struggle with because of the lack of time and what has been just so incredibly different in preparation for this season, what might that be?
I'm going to go a little bit different for your listeners, but I think everybody's going to naturally talk about tackling and blocking and timing and speed of the game. Special teams is a huge part of a game. And with no preseason, there's been no live special teams, kickoff coverage, punt coverage, just even the snap operation of, the field goal unit or the punt team. And I think special teams across the league, I would bet if you watch these games, there's going to be some big plays that happen either way, or maybe some gaffes that happen that could influence wins and losses. To me, I'm kind of keeping an eye on that as a wild card going into week one, just because there's been no preseason.
Yeah, the tackling is what kind of stuck out to me. And I, maybe that would be something that would happen anyway, just with the introduction in general to start a new season. But that's one of the things that stuck out.
I think you saw that tackling. Last year, you're right, there was a big shift, and a lot of teams like the Bears didn't play their starters at all.
Yeah.
And I think it really took till week 3, 4, 5 till you started to see the tackling kind of round back into form. But when you talk about the early season, it's advantageous to the Colts because I think the schedule is favorable the first 6 weeks. I mean, usually when you look at a season, you look at 4 quarters, right? 4 games each. But I'm kind of looking at this season. They have 6 games in the bye, a very favorable schedule. You have probably your toughest stretch after the bye with 6 tough games, and it lightens up a little bit at the end. But I don't think it's out of the realm that the Colts could be easily 5-1, maybe 6-0 going into the bye week. Again, I may be a little bullish, but when you look at their schedule on paper, the Colts should win or be very, very competitive in each of these first 6 games.
So what's your confidence level, and certainly how odd will it be to watch a different place kicker other than Adam Vinatieri trot out onto the field and make those attempted field goals this year?
That is definitely going to be odd. I think Vinny is the one guy that's unquestioned. People argue all the time who's the best quarterback of all time, and it's Brady and Manning, go back and forth. When you talk about kicker, I think that's pretty unique, and that probably unanimous across the country. People agree it's Vinny. So I just hope that when we trot out the field goal unit, and for the first time that Rodrigo hits his first one, hits the first extra point, hits the first field goal. I just think being an undrafted guy, first year, first kick, hopefully that first one goes smack dab to the middle of the uprights.
It's funny, man, because I call like this weekend must win. I'm Mr. Must Win around here. Must win because, Jacksonville's down. You know the direction in which they're going, even if organizationally they don't tell you that. But I liken what you're saying to me saying this game is, of highest of importance for the Colts to win on the road in Jacksonville and to get started against a team that you absolutely on paper should beat. And I would agree with you, regarding Blankenship. It's nothing better for a starter, a rookie, to get in there as a place kicker than to dead center one at the beginning and then build a little bit of confidence. And I think that's essential in this case too.
And I agree. And I think with Jacksonville, it's something where we own them for so long. And I was part of some of those teams that got away from us a little bit down in Jacksonville. But I think it's important to reestablish that, we're the Colts and we're going to sweep you guys twice a year, and the chance to go down there and beat them on the road. And I know they're going to fight like crazy. And, Doug Marone's a tough football coach who's going to have a tough team that's ready to go, mentally and physically. But I'm with you. The player in me says they're all must-wins, and there's 16 of them. You can't freak out, from one week to the next. But I'm kind of with you. We got to get off to a good start and a fast start. And you get that one. You got 2 home games coming up, and really get ourselves out of the gate tough.
Joe Wrights is going to be a part of the pregame coverage during Colts home games this season along the Colts radio network. The former offensive lineman joins us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Before I let you go, and I've said this for a long time now, I can't wait to watch Nyheim Hines. I'm excited to watch him. We'll see how they spread because they got a lot of weapons, at least on paper. We'll see how they spread that football around. Not necessarily even offense. You can go to the defense as well. I put Nyheim Hines as who I am most excited about watching this season. Who would you tag with that note to start this year?
I'm going, it's cliche, but I'm watching the O&D line. When I watch the games, I don't really follow the ball. I go back and do that in my film study, but I'm watching the O&D line. And can we dominate interior in the trenches? I think the offensive line did that last year. I think our defensive line can be really, really, really good this year. And so I'm hoping that we establish that week one, the physicality with those lines. And before you let me go too, if I could say something really quick, it's 9/11 today, September 11th, and don't know how much you've talked about it on the show, but, I have a brother-in-law right now who's in the Air Force. He's over in Germany, and just important for me to mention, I remember where I was sitting 19 years ago and sophomore year at Hamilton Southeastern when everything happened, and just what a blessing it is to have our military, our first responders, all the people that sacrifice, no different than a lot of people have been doing the last 6 months, but I think let's not forget how wonderful of a place America is and how many people sacrifice every day for those freedoms that we have.
I tell that story every year at this time. I was riding with Mark Patrick at the time at the other station, and to watch what transpired, and then I always tell the story about just how good Mark was to I mean, I don't know if calm me or us down's the right thing to say, but what he said back on this date in 2001, sports radio talk or not, was just, I thought, important. And I thought special still to this day, I thought was the greatest sports talk radio show that didn't talk sports that I've ever witnessed. It was incredible. It really was. And it was so needed.
And it hit me when I was talking to my kids about today, and they're learning in school as history, right? And I remember when my parents were talking to me about when Kennedy was assassinated or the Vietnam War or Desert Storm, and to me, those things are all history. But now it's kind of flipped, being a little bit older. Now the kids are learning about a history. You forget they didn't go through it like we did and have those vivid memories of I was sitting exactly in this spot, and how, it's important for us to make sure that we pass that along to them and they understand the history, the magnitude, and, like I said, most importantly, the blessings of so many American people.
Yeah, truly. No doubt about it. Joe Wrights on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So you're going to be with us for home dates, correct?
Yep. So I'll see you down there, and we'll be in studio, right? But it'll be good, and I'm fired up for the show this year, and I think that we're going to have a lot of wins to be talking about and a lot of excitement that's only going to build, as we get into the season and closer to the playoff push. So,
Did you put a number? Did you put a number on the wins this year?
I got 11-5.
11-5. I said 10-6. So I mean, yeah. 10-6 seems kind of like the default. Well, we think they could be good, really good, but there's so much of an unknown because we haven't seen anything, and we're relied on those that cover the team to give us that information because we just haven't seen anything. That's, I think, why I would go with 10-6.
Yeah, and I think, the fact that we were 7-9 last year was obviously a negative at the time, but the positive is, our crossover games with the Dolphins and the Raiders, you're not playing the Chiefs and the Bills and the Patriots, et cetera. So that's where I think we can sneak an extra win or two, on Tennessee, and hopefully, you get to that 11-5 mark, and that's good enough to win the South.
Well done, Joe. Can't wait. That is coming up a week from Sunday. Joe's going to join us for that Colts-Vikings home opener here in studio for the Colts pregame show. Joe, I appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend up there in Westfield, all right?
All right, sounds good. Look forward to chatting with you soon.
You got it, buddy. Thank you. Joe Wrights on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Indeed. Bob Lovell, Zach Kiefer, Joe Wright so far. T-minus 10 minutes and counting till we hit Slaterville. Andy Slater. And Slater's picks coming up. I love it because he wants to come back here. He so enjoyed being with you guys. He wanted to come back. I think it's great. Absolutely fantastic. Andy Slater, slaterspicks.com, 888-364-4003 to give you a little heads up and a head start on it, too. Andy Slater coming up in about 10 minutes. Quick break, and we'll come back. Rich is going to lead on the other side at 239-1070, and we're taking your picks for 2020. 10-6 is what I'm going with. 10-6 is what Kyle is going with. Joe Wrights just went with 11-5. I gave you a detailed breakdown. We can revisit that or anything else you want to hit at 239-1070 next.
I'm Nate, a home contractor and a homeowner. That's how I know there's nothing more important than trust when putting new windows in your home. So when I said to myself, you should get Andersen 400 Series windows, I asked, why? Then I responded with, because they're time-tested and have fewer callbacks. So I said, makes sense, let's do it. I couldn't be any happier with myself. or my new Anderson 400 Series windows.
Anderson 400 Series windows. The window contractors trust most in their own homes. Based on 2018 survey of contractors about Anderson 400 Series clad windows.
Go against America's team this Sunday night with FanDuel Sportsbook. Hey, it's JMV. FanDuel Sportsbook is giving you the chance to get an even bigger win when you bet on the Rams versus the Cowboys. So, for every 5,000 fans who bet on the Rams to cover the spread, FanDuel Sportsbook will move the line 1 point in the Rams' favor. As long as enough fans keep betting, the line will continue moving. And, best of all, FanDuel will pay you out at whatever the line lands at by kickoff, so you don't have to wait to get in on all this action. It's FanDuel Sportsbook, and if you're already signed up, check out this account. The market is called Spread the Love. That's where you go. Spread the Love is the market to place your bet. Now, if you're yet to sign up, do it by using the promo code JMV. That's download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use the promo code JMV. 21 plus, present in Indiana. Must wager in designated crowdfunding market. Max wager $50. Payout at -110. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This corona culture we're living in is just another example of how life can throw some unexpected challenges at you. This is Dan Dockich. When you're faced with difficult times, it's always comforting to have a professional on your side who actually cares about you as a person. If you or someone you know experienced an accident as a driver, passenger, rider, or pedestrian, keep in mind what my guy, Randy Sevenish and Sevenish Law recommends during these challenging financial times. Do not try to negotiate with the insurance company yourself, thinking you are saving money, and be wary of discount lawyers. A quick payday may not be best for you. Do not leave money on the table. It's your money. Even though some courts are closed right now, Randy is still here for you. He's able to meet with you and still take the next negotiation steps for resolution. Do not hesitate to take on the insurance giants during these tough times. Call Sevenish Law, the fierce protectors of the injured, where you're treated like a person, not just a case number. 317-636-7777 and SevenishLaw.com.
Every game has 1,000 storylines. So if you've got an angle, a hunch, or some info you got from that guy in 10 fantasy leagues across the street, Unibet's got that bet. Unibet Sportsbook has all the bets you need for every game. Sign up today and get $30 to bet with. No deposit required. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Did you know Geico's now offering an extra 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies? That's 15% on top of what Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? Your teenager to help around the house?
Okay, Mom, I emptied the dishwasher, vacuumed the basement, and folded the sheets out of the dryer.
Wait, what?
Oh, and next, I'm going to clean Mitten's litter box.
Are we in some kind of prank show or something? That's a camera, isn't it?
There's never been a better time to switch to Geico. Save an extra 15% when you switch by October 7th. Limitations apply. Visit geico.com for details.
If you've got an insurance question, you could talk to a dentist. But instead of filling you in on ways to save on your policies, he'd probably be too busy filling in that loose crown. Or you could talk to your local Geico agent, who will use their expertise to polish up your policies, from home and auto to renters, motorcycle, boat, and RV too. So while, yes, your dentist can save your smile, your Geico agent could save you money, which will make you use that smile a whole lot more. To find a Geico agent near you, visit geico.com/local.
Amazon is offering a $1,000 sign-on bonus in select locations near you. Now's your chance to earn even more, but this opportunity won't be around long, so don't wait. It literally pays to start working now at Amazon. Apply today. Amazon is offering a $1,000 sign-on bonus in select locations near you. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Denny Smith here. My friends at Sundown Gardens are gearing up for a fantastic fall. See all the hydrangeas, roses, ornamental grasses, and foundation plants like boxwood and yews. Mums and fall annuals are arriving daily. The gift shop is full of beautiful autumn-themed decor. There's even a fun Halloween section for indoor and outdoor decorating. Come see us September 19th at the Sundown Gardens Open House. The WIBC Saturday Home and Garden Show will be broadcasting live. Sundown Gardens at 186 and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Place your legal sports bets at BetRivers.com, your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. Tons of bets available during games, from money lines, prop bets, and many more. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we offer fast and reliable withdrawals. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds, more action. Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
It only takes 5 minutes to see how much money we can save you by dropping your rate into the twos. Find out how much you can save today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hubler Auto Group has 8 brands to choose from and thousands of vehicles in stock. Plus, all new vehicles come with a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. Visit drivehubler.com.
The Ride with JMV.
I want you out in front of the school with her. I'd like to have a few words with you, by God.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Bob Lovell, Zach Kiefer, Joe Wright's podcast, 1075thefan.com. Do we have Xavier Rhodes on here Monday? Do we know? We'll just guess. I'm guessing yes, coming up on Monday. Week number 1 of the NFL officially off the mark last night with the Kansas City win over the Houston Texans. We've talked about that, and, of course, the Jaguars and Colts coming up on Sunday down in Jacksonville. Of course, what this day means to everybody, certainly. You know, it's interesting, too, prior to this day, as Reds fans, this date in 1985, Pete Rose became the hit king with hit number 4,192 off of Eric Schau of the San Diego Padres at Riverfront Stadium. I remember in the living room as a 15-year-old watching this go down. It is incredible. Steve Garvey with the handshake over at first base. Rose started sobbing. This date, Pete Rose became the hit king back in 1985. Pretty amazing. Meantime, joining us now on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He is a friend of the show, and I am just so happy to have him back here. SlatersPicks.com. SlatersPicks.com, 888-364-4003. And we follow him on Twitter, too, because he's breaking news all over South Florida. He's Andy Slater with us now. I mean, you're all over the joint down there. You are.
JMV, man, it's so great to hear your voice. Great to be back with you and your entire audience this season. Everybody did so great last year, and I'm looking forward to just a great football season and just better things here in 2020, right? In 2021.
There is no question. I got to start here. I mean, is it you handle your situation any differently at all? I mean, we've had no preseason. We just kind of we go 0 to 60, if you will, just right out of the gate here. And it's just kind of interesting to get a look at what you're looking at as somebody that does so well doing what you do.
JMV, you bring up a great point, and you hear a lot of stories out there in a normal football year like, hey, the beginning of the season is the easiest to wager, and
right.
Oh, the end of the season is the easiest to wager. You hear it all. But the thing is, without a preseason or with a preseason, as long as you're talking to the right people, as long as you're talking to the sports book directors and the odds makers and those people that I talk to, that's all that matters. You know me, JMV. I'm not someone who is going to sit here and come on and break down a game. That's not going to matter. The quarterback matchup, it's not going to make a difference. I talk to the odds makers. They tell me where the money is going, where my players should go, and that's how everybody makes money in the end. Not by, I think this defensive matchup's going to work out. Look, we've all tried that before. When I was young, I tried that too. We think it works, but it doesn't. It doesn't work.
Well, I explained to people around here that you are, and been following you for the past year now, you're legit. You are a news breaker. We have seen that, and it's fun following you, certainly with your picks, but also with your news breaking. All right, before we get into the games that we're going to highlight and concentrate on, everybody always wants to know, where are you calling from today?
Well, one thing that has changed, I mean, the winning picks are still great. But one that has changed.
Let's hold on 1 second here. Sorry, Andy, that you're breaking up. I was going to say, just as I said, where are you calling from? Then the line went all screwy on us. We'll see if we can get him back here. Figures. As soon as I go, hey, where are you calling us from? Boom. That's what happened. SlatersPicks.com is where you go. I think Andy is back now. We better connected now, Andy. Sorry about that. I led us down a path, and there you go. All of a sudden, the line went kind of screwy.
Well, I'm calling you today from Mars. I mean, maybe that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm actually in South Florida today. You know, the
Okay.
pandemic, less travel, but that's going to be changing very soon as football season's getting going. But I was here in South Florida and actually at the University of Miami game last night as they took on UAB, and going to start my traveling up very soon again.
I got you. All right, let's concentrate on these two games, Titans and Broncos. What do you think?
All right, well, the Titans and Broncos, before we get to the Colts and Jags, which is what you really want to know about, the Broncos were a slight favorite in this one, but then the news about Von Miller hit. And what did bettors do? They started pounding the Titans. The odds makers I spoke to, JMV, they said Tennessee took way too much money. Not much of a surprise by them because this is normally what happens. But it did take the line from Denver -1 to the Titans -2.5. Here's the deal in this game, JMV. The total is 41. If you're going to play this game and you can get the number at 41, I would go over. And the reason I say that is because of what I was told. The majority of the public, JMV, thinks this game is just going to be a whole lot of running, especially on Tennessee's side. The odds makers I speak to say this total should really be more around 45. Now, that's not too big of a difference, and that's why I'm not playing this game personally or giving it to my clients. But value-wise, that's pretty good. So if you want to play the closeout game on Monday Night Football, that's what I would do. I would take over 41. But JMV, you know, and your audience, maybe there's newcomers here, haven't heard me before. If they really want to make money this weekend and have a fantastic season, well, go with the picks that I have at SlatersPicks.com.
Yeah, 888-364-4003. So many people came up to me a year ago and said, man, the guy's the truth, and please bring him back. And he's back again this year. SlatersPicks.com. 888-364-4003. All right, Colts and Jaguars in Jacksonville coming up on Sunday, Andy.
All right, your Colts are an 8-point favorite. The total is 45. The Jaguars are looked at as a mess, as one of the teams in the NFL who is tanking. The Colts go into this game with Phillip Rivers, and all of you know what Phillip is capable of. Are the Colts easy money, laying 8 points? I spoke to two sportsbook directors about this. Both of them, JMV, told me, if you are going to play this game, take the Colts. However, take them sooner rather than later. They believe a lot of public money is going to flow in by tomorrow or Sunday, and they told me if you cannot get it at 8, then stay away. This is by no means, and I'm telling you up front, a 5-star or a 3-star play, but it's the smart play if you're going to wager on your team. And I know some of you out there just can't watch your team. You have to have action on it. I get it. But if you really want to be smart and make money this season, do it by getting it. I got 2 big plays this weekend, JMV. One tomorrow, one on Sunday. Get on board early. And real quickly, I got to tell you, last year, I had at least 3 handful of people come to me with about 5 weeks to go in the season, and they were like, you know what, I wish I would have got with you earlier, and I don't want that to happen again this year. Get on board early.
Yeah, we had a lot of people, when I go out and do Friday stuff, come up to me regarding these picks, and we're glad that you're back. SlatersPicks.com. Again, SlatersPicks.com. 888-364-4003. Our friend Andy Slater back every Friday at 5:35 during this football season. Great to have you back. It feels normal again because of that.
Great to hear your voice, buddy. I'll hear you again next Friday.
You got it. That's Andy Slater right there. SlatersPicks.com. 888-364-4003. All right, quick break and we'll come back. I got Rich on the line. We'll put somebody else on the air if you want to come on the air at 239-1070, and we'll do the Harrah's Hoosier Park race of the day. A little 50-50 in wagering and in dining. A VIP package to the winner. The Friday edition of the race of the day. Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson. We'll set the lineups, and we'll see who wins. Coming up next.
Mortgage interest rates are in the twos, and we are saving homeowners hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with an easy refinance. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
September 17th, Pacers Malcolm Brogdon and The Fan have teamed up all day to raise money for Malcolm's charity, the JHA Education Project. Visit 1075thefan.com for details.
When you've got a strong will, you do it your own way. When you're not willing to compromise, second best never crosses your mind. So when you're looking for a dependable used work truck, you'll know you'll find exactly what you're looking for at Indy Trucks. Cargo vans, box trucks, utility, you name it. Indy Trucks has it at 96th and Keystone, or the new location off I-65 at the Edinburgh exit, or IndyTrucks.com. When you want it your way, you'll get it your way at Indy Trucks.
All right, here we go. The Harris Hoosier Park Race of the Day. 50-50 in betting and in dining, courtesy of Harris Hoosier Park. Racing at Casino in Anderson. That's a VIP package. Here's how we look. Daryl, my man's got Magnifique. Precious Reba going to Lee Adams. Rick Brown has Pennies from Heaven. The Empire's Sister going to Sean Noonan. Olivia gets Sugar and Spite. Carefree Kara goes to Brian Ward. Logan Walker gets All Speed All the Time. And Frank Meester with Misfire. It's the Harris Hoosier Park Race of the Day. Good luck.
The following is presented by the Indiana Standard Bred Breed Development Program. From Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino, it's time for the Harness Race of the Day on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
And they're often pacing. Precious Reba going for the lead from the center of the track. It's the Empire's Sister from the outside. Carefree Kara comes right out firing. Magnifique is gapping away fourth. Pennies from Heaven racing next in the fifth. Sugar and Spite gapping away sixth. Then as they enter the turn, All Speed All the Time. Misfire at the back of the pack. They race over to the first quarter-mile marker. Carefree Kara in the clear here. She opens 3 in the field, 26-2, opening a quarter. Carefree Kara by 4.5 lengths now as they head down the back stretch. The Empire Sister second to the inside, and another 3 back then to Precious Reba. She's a third by 2. Magnifique is fourth. Pennies from Heaven lined up in fifth. Sugar and Spite is now locked in sixth, and they're to the outside. Misfire is trying to flush out cover. All Speed All the Time tipping to the outside. 55-2 was the halftime. Carefree Kara leading to the far turn. The Empire Sister to the inside, chasing in second, with a gap of 2.5, 3 back to Pennies from Heaven. Misfire is now uncovered and underway from last, from 8th to 7th, to 6th to 5th to 4th. Third, she's second, but still has a lot of work to do here to catch Carefree Kara, who's out by 3.5, 4 3/4, and 124-1. They're in the stretch. Carefree Kara outside. Misfire continues to rally as she closes in on the leader. And to the outside, Pennies from Heaven. Inside is the Empire Sister. But Carefree Kara is strong. In the stretch, Carefree Kara. Misfire will not reach. Carefree Kara, gate to wire. Misfire second. Pennies from Heaven in a fast closing. Sugar and Spite.
Just minutes from Indy off I-69 in Anderson, Harrah's Hoosier Park has live standard-bred horse racing through November 21st, thanks in part to the Indiana Standard-Bred Breed Development Program. And keep listening for your chance to win with Harrah's Hoosier Park Harness Race of the Day on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Carmel hosts Pike on Friday Night Football. The action begins at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Harris Hoosier Park Racing and Casino in Anderson. Shout out to Brian Ward, today's winner. VIP package. 50 betting, 50 in dining from Harris Hoosier Park in Anderson. Carefree Kara, the win, 420, the place, 240, the show, 220. Misfire had a 280 place, a 280 show. Pennies from Heaven goes show, 260, exact to pay out $11. Trifecta payout, $16.65, Tuesday through Friday. Every week, it's Harrah's Hoosier Park Race of the Day right here. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan. Let's work in some calls. Top of the hour. I've got Colts Happy Hour for you right now. We go to the line. Rich is up next on this Friday. Hello, Rich. How are you?
Hey, JMV. How's it going?
Great, Rich. Go ahead.
Okay, listen, I got a question for you, and then I want your opinion on it.
You got it.
The question is, when are you guys going back to one of the casinos, like the Grand or maybe Anderson?
I am Indiana Grand in Fairland outside of Shelbyville coming up on Thursday. So this Thursday, I'll be down at Indiana Grand.
All right, I'm going to try and make it. Okay,
Yes, sir.
next thing, I've been watching the bubble a lot. Didn't really watch a whole lot of the regular season, but I've been watching the bubble pretty well continuously. And I know this is not a lot of people's opinion, but I wanted your opinion on it. I actually think Miami Heat can win the championship. What do you think?
I don't think there's any question. The way they're playing right now, I mean, consistently at, arguably the highest level. I mean, yes, absolutely. It just seems like everything they put up goes in. I know that kind of you kind of get scoffed at when you talk about, well, if they get either Boston or the Raptors. But, I mean, I think that they're heavy competition there in the East, and then we'll see ultimately who ends up out of the West with probably the Clippers or the Lakers being there. But, yeah, I mean, they've certainly, as they dissected the Pacers and the Bucks in those first two rounds, I think the Heat are beyond legit right now. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what I thought, too. And I'm kicking myself because they was 24-1 a couple of weeks ago. Now they're 3-1. And I was going to put $100 on them a couple of weeks ago, but you don't win much now.
No, you don't. But they have been fantastic, and yes, I completely agree with you. Could be.
Okay, that's what I want. I'll see you next Thursday.
You got it, Rich. Thank you. Yeah, Indiana Grand coming up on Thursday. We'll be there. I've seen a bunch of reports, college football wise. Brett McMurphy, who covers the sport so well, says Clemson conducted over 1,000, between 1,000 and 1,100 COVID tests during the latest round screening of athletes and staff. 24 individuals tested positive, 19 athletes from 9 sports. Clemson did not make it clear which sports. Now, if you heard earlier today, this is something else from Brett McMurphy regarding college teams trying to start up. Vanderbilt, out of the SEC, they're going to begin their fall athletic season without spectators at home events. They're going to do that through the end of October. So Vanderbilt gets LSU at home October the 3rd, South Carolina October the 10th, and Ole Miss on October the 31st. Memphis has paused football activities because of an outbreak of positive COVID tests. The Tigers were going to make a determination on playing next Friday's game with Houston at some point next week. Tulsa, 13% capacity for their home football games. And this is where monetarily it hits home. Listen to this number. Georgia reports they expect the Dogs to have a budget shortfall of $55 million for the 2021 fiscal year. That is the latest in college football. Now, the college football that is trying to be played right now. Those on YouTube Live, Inside the Lounge, appreciate you. Jason Poland says, it wouldn't surprise me either if Miami is going to win it all. You can make an argument that nobody is playing at a higher level than Miami. And you're going to find teams with a higher level of elite talent. But anybody playing better? Yeah, just the way that they buzz through those first two rounds. They have been, with that group, a matchup nightmare. I mean, really help expedite the process of getting rid of a coach here, and we'll see what that ends up doing as far as Milwaukee is concerned. Could be damaging for the future of Giannis there. Just a flat lot going on. But, yeah, I think Miami's beyond legit. Not much question about it. This is Jonah in Arizona writes this. JMV, no, if you'll be on remote the week of September the 28th to October the 3rd, there's no doubt I'll be somewhere. I just don't know where that is. September the 28th through October the 3rd. Well, I know one's my golf outings down in Franklin, so Jonah, you can come to that if you like. And you can sign up for that golf outing down at the Legends in Franklin right now. We'd love to have you. It benefits Teachers Treasures, which benefits our educators and teachers here locally. But I'd love to see you. So, yeah, John, you can just come down to Franklin. Boom, there you go. Let me make sure. Hold on one second. When's he say he was going to be here? I think October 5 is that date. Jonas, Jonah's out of here the 3rd, so yeah. But I promise you, I will be out at some point that Thursday and Friday leading up to. I will be out somewhere. I just don't know where it is just yet, but it will be somewhere. I promise you that. And by the way, too, if you want to sign up for the JMV Sucks, but his Larceny Bourbon Golf outing doesn't, it's the 8th annual to benefit Teachers Treasures. Do it right now. Let's have some fun. You guys deserve fun. A little golf party, a lot of eating, a lot of drinking, and just fun to be had by all. If you've got you and some friends, just want to come and hang out, I'd love to see you. Love to see you, love to hang out with you. And it's for a great cause. Our educators, our teachers here with Teachers Treasures. So put that on your calendar, get your friends together, and let's do it. The JMV Sucks golf outing coming up October the 5th. Legends in Franklin. Let's do it. Sign up right now, 1075thefan.com. Bob Lovell, Zach Kiefer, Joe Wrights, Andy Slater, and the race of the day. We have the Colts going 10-6 this season. Colts coverage on Sunday morning begins with me, the Gorman, and Bill Brooks. That's your Colts pregame show, 10 a.m. right here. Tomorrow night, #JMV Takeover. And I'm all by myself with your chance to win from New Belgium Brewing. Fat Tire, a beer restock. Tomorrow night, 6 until midnight, the JMV Takeover on B105.7. Coming up next, Colts Happy Hour. All you need to know in preparation for week number 1 for the Colts in Jacksonville. That's with me, and it's next.
Sports with Dan Dockich.
Kevin Pritchard.
There's a style of basketball that's more conducive to winning. You have to take some risk. Throw a zone in there every once in a while. Switch on defense. Adhere to the layup three-point philosophy for the most beneficial shots and most benefited defense over a course of 82 games, because the numbers start playing either for you or against you, and I want them to play for us.
Dan Dockich, weekdays, noon till 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Broadcaster Brent Musburger.
Want to know where to start for in-game handicapping? I'll tell you, oddstrader.com. Live in-game odds, real-time bet tracker, stats, matchup analysis, power rankings, injury reports, and much more. Oddstrader.com is your personal sports betting command center. And best of all, it's free. Get the right live info and start winning at oddstrader.com.
Compare sportsbook bonuses right now at oddstrader.com.
Swipe right much? At vergecredit.com, we believe finding the right personal loan is a lot like finding someone to swipe right on. When it comes to finding the right match, you don't want any sketchy profiles. And you're more than just your desirability factor. Same applies when finding a personal loan. You deserve a loan that comes with full transparency, one that doesn't hide the details, a loan that says what you see is what you get. At vergecredit.com, we believe in tailoring a loan that is personalized to fit you and your situation. So say bye-bye origination fees, catch you later prepayment fees, and peace out late fees. Because now there's a personal loan that comes with absolutely no shady fees whatsoever. We'll have you saying, you had me at no hidden fees. Find a good fit personal loan at vergecredit.com. Trust us, you'll be swiping right. Lending decisions subject to eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, terms, and conditions apply. Late payments, missed payments, or other defaults on your account may be reflected in your credit report. Loans are underwritten and originated in Salt Lake City, Utah by Stride Bank N.A. member FDIC and serviced by Verge Credit.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff Toll with RexMD.com. If you've ever considered trying ED medication, right now you can, and there's no need to visit your doctor's office. You can go online at rexmd.com and get real prescription ED medication delivered direct to you without leaving your home. The process is simple. Here's how it works. Just fill out a brief survey at